3, 2, 1. Today's podcast is presented by PODGO. PODGO is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from PODGO. We recently joined as a member, and you can too. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co. Don't forget to add the 2-on-1 podcast in the How Did You Hear About PODGO section of your application. Now get ready for the rest of the episode. Guys, how are you doing?
We have returned.
We have returned. I said I wouldn't say that because I'm not going to steal Adam's.
Yeah, that's why I had to change up the words.
So Daniel, if anyone's wondering, Daniel stole Adam's line. He just changed one word. We have Mike here again. He has some things to yell about. Mike, how are you doing?
I mean, I went through a fair bit of blue depression, but then I came past it. No, not really. I still have not gotten past it. But, I mean, other than that, I'm just chilling, out here in Odd Vegas, watching the playoffs. Odd Vegas.
So, I asked you this before, but I thought I might as well bring it up on the podcast. You're working in Ottawa, and you were pretty open about being a Leafs fan, and they lost. How were your coworkers?
Some of my coworkers work at TSN, or a lot of my coworkers work at TSN. All the TSN guys are always in the building. Got some really nice guys like Ian Mendez and Lee Brassage and all them. But there's some really nice guys. But oh my God, when the Leafs lost, it was like it was like throwing. It was me into a pack of just hungry lions, just a pit of hungry lions. Just tear me apart, please. I walked in. I don't know if you saw that SpongeBob meme of that guy on fire with just like the most like nonchalant face. That was me just walking into where just everyone flamed me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
This
team is very disappointing, but we're used to it. We'll talk about the Leafs later, though. I guess the plan for today is we'll go through each series, and then we got some non-playoff team tidbits to go through. Some juicy things happen. Since Adam's not here, Adam's gonna be back Wednesday, by the way, for episode 100.
Wow.
Let's start with the Canadians and the Flyers. So Adam sent me something this morning, and I said I'd play it. So it's someone's birthday apparently. So we're just gonna
Is it Madonna?
Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, you see Adam's face?
Yep.
Perfect.
Hello, Alex. I'm sending you this video. I want you to play it on the podcast, otherwise I'm not coming back. Or edit it in to the YouTube and the online version. I thought that today I'd send a message to all of you because Mike is going to be on the show today. Daniel's there, great guy. Today's a very special day, Alex. Today is Carey Price's birthday.
Oh my God.
And I think it is necessary for you guys to acknowledge that on the show. Kneel down to the best goalie on the planet.
I'm not kneeling, Adam.
We'll be sitting for Carey.
We're sitting for Carey Price.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Price.
Yeah, that guy's standing on his head again for this team. Let's just start with Carey Price since he brought it up. What is he doing? Why is this guy a god?
As an animal.
And I think that's one of the things that needed to go right for this team against Pittsburgh. And we saw it against Pittsburgh. We're seeing it again in Philadelphia. If Carey Price stands on his head, what type of run could this team go on?
I want them out.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm still not even sure what's gonna happen in this series against Philly. because like you know what, they had to win game 2 for Claude Julien, which obviously I know you want to get into in a bit, but like yeah, so you had that extra fire, especially with Hot Carey, who was like literally, I don't know if you guys saw that video, but he was about to just give Derek Grant just a mouthful of blocker.
I mean, you know, simply do not push forwards into your goalie is what I would say to Montreal.
Yeah, that's what I said too. I'm pretty sure Adam said that as well. But
yeah, like it's all great that he's doing that, but if I'm Xavier Ouellet, who I believe pushed Derek Grant into, well, maybe not purposely pushed him in there, but gave him a little shove, and he flew into Carey Price. It must have given Adam Chris Kreider vibes right there.
Oh, terrible flashbacks of that.
You mean Chris Kreider PTSD?
Yeah. If you don't know what we're talking about, was it 2012 or 2013?
I think it was that.
2012. Chris Kreider runs into Carey Price, injures Carey Price, and that was the end of that team.
It was 2014.
2014. Yeah. Close.
Eastern Conference Final.
And that would have been a battle and a half in the finals. Jonathan Quick, who was actually good, and Carey Price.
Hey, the Rangers belonged there.
Okay, so sorry. Obviously, you brought it up before. Claude Julien, after game 1, was sent to the hospital with chest pains. It wasn't COVID related. I believe he had surgery and was sent back to Montreal. And he is supposed to have a full recovery, which is, I mean, couldn't ask for anything better.
Wishing him all the best at this moment.
Yeah. And I think that game 2, and we'll get to it now, game 2, they won it for Claude Julien.
Yeah.
They looked absolutely dominant.
I think so. You know, Carter Hart didn't really have his best game out there. Flyers weren't really kind of showing up the same way, and I don't know, like that team kind of clicked. I think like Eric Engels wrote about it that, you know, they're not completely where they want to be, but everything seems to be fitting now together for this team. And, you know, maybe they'll make, I don't know if it's going to be a finals run, but some sort of run.
When it comes to Claude Julien, I mean, at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you pray for the guy's health, because just as a person, you hate to see that. So, I mean, it's great that it's inspired this Habs team to really push themselves and you know, they're already an underdog in this playoffs, and now they're embracing underdog status without having now their head coach. I think that really makes them like that makes them a dangerous team.
Like when I watched game 2, I couldn't tell you what the hell happened to Philadelphia. It's like they weren't able to get through Montreal. Like in terms of shots, it just felt like they were stuck.
I mean, it's easy to tell that, honestly, I didn't think Philly was going to win. But like I thought Philly was going to get murdered by the end, like by the end of the first period, when you saw that it took them 17 minutes just to muster up a shot attempt.
Right.
And that's when you're like, okay, this team, which has a very capable offense, and, you know, which is like a team that has a good top 6 of Giroux, Voracek, Couturier, God, I don't know the Flyers as well. Travis Konechny, that guy. Yeah, and a great decor that's also offensively good with like Ivan Provorov, who looks like a hobo, but Jesus Christ, that beard and stuff. And then Katahat, can't forget him. But like for them to be just like, you know, I was expecting them to come in there and just wipe the towel with Montreal, wipe the floor with them. And then game 2 happened, and a team that doesn't score that many goals just scored 5 on Philly. I was like, right. What?
Yeah, it looked like a completely different team that we saw through the regular season, and even honestly, I'd even say in the play-in series against Pittsburgh, like they just look dominant. Like they just look like Daniel said before. It just everything clicked.
Mhm.
Can we talk about Jesperi Kotkaniemi and his wonderful neck beard? Have you seen that guy's neck beard? It's Patrick Laine-esque. I think it looks better on Jesperi Kotkaniemi than it does on Patrick
Okay, well,
Laine.
Line looked like Amish when he had a beard, but I mean, I like Kakaniemi. I'm pumping his tires because Adam would want me to, but I mean, yeah, his beard it's a good trend. It's a good fashion trend there.
Yeah. I mean, he's 19. He's put up 2 goals. For the season that he's had such a weird season. Adam would say it was an extremely poor season, regular season for Jesperi Kotkaniemi because of his injuries and the fact that he comes back and he's looked really good in the play-in and in this series. I mean, whoever was saying he's a bust can go do what to
Go
themselves.
bust yourself.
Yeah, honestly.
I think so too. Like, they brought him back. He's healthy now. They're putting him in situations where he could actually succeed. Like, have that. He's back with Juan. Um, they're causing a lot more rushes now, and I don't know. It's just kind of like we said. Like the lineup now is kind of taking form. Like they actually have an idea of what is actually our top six
Right.
going forward.
Is Max Domi the odd man? Like, because every time I ask Adam if Max Domi can play on the wing, he keeps telling me that he doesn't want to play on the wing. So does that leave
Max Domi on the wing would be better than Max Domi at center, though.
But it doesn't seem like it seemed like the last game. I think he ended up playing on the wing, or he played part-time at center. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll search up which line he played on. But
he was originally the fourth line center up
Yeah.
until I think last game, moving up to the third line. But he was on the wing now.
Yeah, I saw him on the fourth line. It was funny because he's fourth line center, and then he was PP1.
wonderful. What does that leave him as the odd man out?
I think like we've talked about it before. It's just kind of gauging the Canadians. Like, what do they actually have when it comes to establishing a core moving forward, and how they kind of view Max Domi, like with his contract coming up. Like, what is your trajectory of him, and what role would he actually play on this team, given
I think-
a certain cap hit?
I think Max Domi is one of the most valuable players on this team, like a lot. Like he brings just so much leadership, so much he brings grit. Like he brings his father's grit. He isn't killing people in the penalty box like his dad, but like he brings like a certain element to the table that comes from Ty Domi. But the only thing is he's a better scorer than him.
Right.
Like he's an extremely skilled forward. Look, it's taken him some time. Like he wasn't who he was supposed to be in Arizona, but then he came and he looked a lot different in Montreal. But this year has obviously not been the greatest year for him. I think now he's just I think for his duration in Montreal, like he's just gonna blossom though. Like I think and I love Max Domi, man. I remember when he was just bullying Andreas Janssen last year, and I was like, I don't care, man. I love Max Domi.
Yeah.
Like, he's also a fashion icon. Like I'm sorry, I just can't get past that. Like it's a handsome dude, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice smile.
Oh my god, those pearly whites. Come on.
In 31 Thoughts, in the blog and in the podcast, they talked about Friedman brought up Max Domi to Pittsburgh. Obviously, we'll get to Pittsburgh a little bit later, but that just seems like an odd move for both teams.
Yeah, because I think like with Pittsburgh, when it comes to their bottom nine on who they want to establish as their center there, I don't know, like it hasn't fit for them. Like Jared McCann, Nick Boustead, it's just been kind of like just hasn't been there since like the Derek Brassard trade. But I don't know, like what would they kind of give up for Max Domi, or even make that kind of room for that?
Well, they already gave up a first-round pick for next year.
It's tough, man. Like because the Penguins, like Jim Rutherford, he's trying here. Like, he's surrounding his core with some good players. Like I mean, McCann and Bukestad, yeah, it didn't work out amazing, but like bring back Connor Sheary. Connor Sheary was great. Well, he obviously was invisible this play-in series, but
Yeah.
he's a great player. Jason Zucker, can't forget how he played either in that top or second line. Like he looked great when he came to Pittsburgh. So I don't know. Like I don't know what you give up to risk to get if you were to get Max Domi. That's such an interesting scenario.
And he's also an RFA. Like, what? Again, I guess we'll get to it when Adam comes back. But what the hell do you give Max Domi? And considering, like, you don't have a whole lot of cap space. Like, you have 13. Pittsburgh has $13 million in cap space next year. Matt Murray, Tristan Jarry are both RFAs. Connor Sheary.
Sayonara Murray.
Pardon?
Sayonara Murray.
Yeah, Murray's all but gone. Evan Rodriguez, Jared McCann, Sam Lafferty, Dominic Simone, those guys are RFAs. And Connor Sheary's a UFA. And then we just assume Justin Schultz isn't coming back either. But what the hell? Like, what money do you give this guy?
You incentivize them to take Jack Johnson's contract and add in, like, I don't know, Samuel Poulin.
God.
To sweeten
Then
the
he
pot.
has to get signed. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
But
Jack
then you have to
John-
actually
man.
sign him.
Yeah, you have to sign him so then you can trade for him. Or either vice versa. But, man, if anyone takes on the Jack Johnson trade, that cap, you should just – you're like only Peter Chiarelli is the only GM I could ever see taking that. And he would take the full thing.
If you're taking Jack Johnson's contract, that guy's going on LTIR.
Peter Chiarelli would take Jack Johnson for like if he whatever let's say he's still with the
Arizona.
Oilers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. Let's say he's with Arizona. He'll trade
Yeah.
Clayton Keller for Jack Johnson. Like we need to boost our decor,
That's depressing.
and then Clayton Keller's gonna go and just like
Light it up.
explode.
So just before we move on, what should we expect next game from Philadelphia and Montreal?
I mean, I don't think Philly wants to get embarrassed. That's the thing here, and they got embarrassed last game.
Right.
So I think they're going to come in here with a lot more fire. They're going to be like, okay, you know what? This team has a lot more fire. We have a lot more fire. We got to come back here. We got to rally the troops. We got to. It's like if it wasn't even the offensive game, they just looked defeated. I didn't see as many checks being thrown. I didn't see as much pressure on the forecheck or back check. I really didn't see the same sense of urgency. It looked like they were just flopped. So I really think they're going to come out there and do that. And understanding that Montreal is like, you know what, we're still playing for Claude, for Coach Julian. We're a feisty group. We did this to them before. Let's do it again. So I think it's going to be a heavyweight matchup.
Daniel?
Yeah, it's gonna be a grind out game. I envision a 3-2 win from either team, but it might be 4-2 depending on the empty net goal.
God damn.
Again, not giving a name, not giving a team. Come on.
God damn.
I don't know. I like this tilt. It's kind of like it might go back and forth. It might go to 7 games, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. What did you guys think of Alain Vigneault's comments after the game about that?
Oh my God. He's being such a baby, man.
Do you think he actually means it, or do you think he
He's
just
trying to
wanted
fire up his
the
team.
players?
Yeah.
Because he
Like-
said, "Oh, I'm gonna bring this up to the players," and at that point, I'm like, "Man, you're just saying this
Yeah.
so that the players know."
That's the only saving grace I think he has with those. Like I loved AV because he was he coached the Habs before he coached the Rangers, and I obviously as a Rangers guy, I've loved him there.
Yeah.
And AV is just a great coach, but I mean, when he said that, like it took me a while to just think, okay, no, he's using this as a tactic to fire up his team, and his team would definitely know that too. Like it's playoffs. There's no handouts being given here. Like, yeah, you guys are getting embarrassed, but that's your fault. Like, there's no handouts in playoffs. It's not like it's the who ended dead last this year?
The
Detroit.
Red Wings.
Detroit. Yeah, sorry. It's not like this is President's Trophy winning Bruins absolutely creaming Detroit like 6-0, and then just like throwing on PP1.
Right.
Like it's not like that. Like in the regular season too. It's not like that. Like no, this is playoffs, dude. Have some thick skin.
Yeah. Daniel?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I agree too. Like, he's just trying to fire up his team. He is clearly frustrated with how things went. That was really ugly. Like up until even by the time it was like the mid-second, we knew what the result was going to be. So I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt and see how he's gonna approach it. Game 3, but
Game 3.
yeah, he's a respectable guy. We always love the guy.
Jack
He's
Adams. 2020 Jack Adams.
The name of the game. The name of the
Yeah.
game here. The X factor and what is going to push this team over Montreal is Shane Gostisbehere. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. No, I think for me, I think this next game, the X factor is Carter Hart.
Yeah.
How does he rebound from getting pulled in the playoffs? Like, is he gonna be like, damn it, I hate my life, or is he gonna rise to the occasion?
Right. Okay, let's go to the next series. Bruins and Hurricanes, who have been making headlines, or one particular player has been making headlines. Obviously, we know David Pasternak's out. It looks like he was injured after game 1. Did he play game 2? He did, right? And
Yep.
And he didn't end up playing game 3. They said he was unfit to play, so we don't actually know what the injury is. I saw Bruce Cassidy say it's not long term, which is 100% good for the team.
Mm-hmm.
But the bigger guy who's out is Tuukka Rask. Obviously, before he decided to leave, he made comments about the hockey in the bubble, saying it doesn't feel like the playoffs without the fans. And the next day, or a couple days later, he just happens to leave the bubble. Which, listen, he left. He wanted to go spend time with his newborn child, and I think he has 2 other kids.
He does, yeah.
So I'm not I'm not going to trash the guy. I'm really not. I saw multiple other people trashing the guy.
So, oh my gosh, there's so many
ridiculous
people
comments
trashing.
online. Yeah,
The people who are trashing Tuukka Rask are the guys or the people who did not like Tuukka Rask before.
They're the same kind of people that definitely like their favorite show is like 2 broke girls.
Okay.
Screw you guys.
Okay.
or Andrew Raycroft supporters. We don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Thanks for bringing it up, Daniel. Thanks for
That was
bringing
a
it up.
great one,
I had
Daniel.
to.
Thank you, Daniel.
Daniel continues to bring up on this podcast the Tuukka Rask and Andrew Raycroft
Why?
trade. At least
Never happened.
once a month.
Didn't happen. Didn't happen.
Never happened. Since we're talking about this, can we talk about Mike Mil? Well, I
Oh
don't
God!
Listen,
Oh God!
I didn't bring up the Mike Milbury stuff about Jake Muzzin because I didn't want to give that crap the time of day. But he did it again. He somehow managed to piss people off. The space, you know what? He called the CN Tower the Space Needle or whatever the hell he called it. I think at that point he knew what he was doing there. I think he knew he was going to piss a lot of people in Toronto off. The Jake Muzzin stuff I had issue with. Now he's doing it again with this stuff. Mike Milbury, shut up. Honestly, I don't know who listens to him.
I think he's lost a lot of credibility.
For sure. I saw Rachel Dory tweet, why do people care what he has to say? And then I think I commented, and I think the answer to that question is the issue is he has a platform. It's the same issue we had with Don Cherry. It literally goes back. The issue we have with what he says is he has a platform. And the issue with that is there's so many people who take what he says for gospel.
I think
What he says is what goes.
I think so. Yeah, same thing too. Like he has that platform, and he is no matter what he said, what he's done, even as a GM, he's still an old-time hockey face. He's part of the old boys club.
Yeah.
Is you guys have anything else to say about Mike Milbury?
I have no words for this guy, man. Honestly, like I don't like him. Like I don't like him at all. He's just he just like seriously. First off, dude, get your cities right. How the hell are you gonna call Toronto Seattle? Screw you. But like everything from his management career to now his broadcasting career, his takes have just been horrible. Like I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this guy, man. I don't like him. I'm not gonna trash him. Like he does a great job when he's not being horrible with his takes, but like, do better. Just do better.
And I see a lot of people comparing what he does and what Jack Edwards does, and we've talked about Jack Edwards multiple.
I was gonna say
times
there's got to be a comparison there.
I think there's definitely a comparison in their hot takes. In terms of Jack Edwards, listen, the thing with Jack Edwards is that he is the biggest Bruins homer I've ever seen in my life. And I think the issue with that
he literally
is
makes
broadcast.
like he literally makes Spittin' Chicklets' Rear Admiral look like a fake Bruins fan. And Rear Admiral is the biggest Bruins fan in the world.
Yeah, and I think the issue with that is he's on the national broadcast. Like if Joe Bowen was doing national Leaf games, there would be a lot of crap sent his way because he's a Leafs fan and he's a homer.
I mean, he's not saying "Holy Mackinac" to when like the enemy, the other team scores.
No.
Like McDavid comes in here, ends Riley's career. Holy Mackinac! Like, no, he's not doing that. He's like, and what a goal by Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
In his mind, he's just depressed. Like, man, I love Joe Bowen. I love it. I remember when he made the call. When that legendary game this year, where the better game that the Leafs played against Carolina, not the
which one?
Not the game we're not gonna bring that other game up, Daniel. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Didn't happen.
What happened?
The game where they came back, the Christmas Eve game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Christmas Eve game where they came back and scored like 4 goals. Like that, I love that game. Like even Tyson Barrie scored that game. That's how good of a game it was. But like if you see like the broadcast of Joe Bowen in his booth, he was just going crazy. They're just high-fiving each other. They're just loving it. Like, man, like I get being a homer, but sometimes like as a professional, you just it depends. Like, he's on NBCSN, so like it's a little different, but
I don't want to talk about Mike Milbury anymore, unless you guys have anything else to say.
I have a friend who's in going to his second year in sport media.
Okay,
and I think he lives in I think he's like from Vancouver.
Okay,
or sorry, he's from BC, but he just moved back to Toronto. And he just posted a picture of the CN Tower, and he's like, "I've made it back to Seattle, heart eyes."
God.
Hashtag Mike Milbury.
Okay, let's move on to the actual series. How big of a loss is Tuukka Rask to the Bruins?
That's a good question. I mean, with the way he's playing, the way he played those 4 games, like the 2 games in the round robin and then these 2 games in the series, like honestly, like what is it, a .906 save percentage he had? Just didn't look his best out there. I really don't think it's that enormous, but I mean, obviously a loss is a loss, but I don't think it's as big as you'd expect because it didn't look like the Tuukka that took them to the finals last year.
Yeah.
His heart wasn't in it. You could see it.
It looked like he didn't want to be there.
I kind of feel the same way too. That it's not as big as I think people think it is. Like based on how last year went, Halak has same thing too. Like we said before, like, he's still on his head. He's been a consistent goalie. He's been a good 1A the whole year, and he has had that playoff experience. Like if we're gonna talk about Montreal goalies making runs, we remember how he was 2010. I know that was 10 years ago, but Halak continues to get better with age. I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just he fits the system pretty well.
Yeah. Can one of you guys explain this to me? Why the hell Anders Bjork is on the first line with David Pasternak out?
Mix it up.
Why don't you put Josh Archibald on the first line? That might be more effective.
Big Nick on the first line.
To throw the most annoying pigeon on the team, Jake DeBrusk, on the first line.
Why not? Why you gotta put Anders Bjork on there? Why you gotta do that to him?
Are you gonna name this episode just Trash Anders Bjork?
No. I'm not trashing Anders Bjork. It's like, okay, you have multiple.
No, man, you gotta
more
put Chris
effective-
Wagner on.
You know what? Put Par Lindholm. He was a great Leaf.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Chris Wagner, who had 2 of their 4 goals in the play-in round. Put him on the fourth line of first line.
You have multiple players. There's 3 off the top of my head that could fit better on that first line.
Yeah,
Jake
playoff
DeBrusk,
Charlie Coyle.
Charlie Coyle, and if you really want to, Andre Kasha. But no, Anders Bjork. Okay.
Playoff Chris Wagner.
Listen, have the Bruins looked any better since the play-in round?
No.
No.
They've looked garbo.
So how the hell
I don't know
do they have
how
a
they're
2-1
winning.
lead? How the hell
I don't know
do they
how
have
they're
2-1?
winning. They're just buying in, I guess, man. Like, they got, like, don't get me wrong. I think Charlie McAvoy is one of the most overrated players. That's just me.
Okay.
But I think, like, it's a combination of the games that they did have Pasta and guys like David Krejci, Patrice, and I'm telling you, man, playoff Charlie Coyle is a beast. Like, I'm not just memeing this. I mean, playoff Charlie Coyle is a beast. Like,
Yeah. You know where this all went wrong?
where
You know who's won the only game for them in this series?
Yarrow.
James Reimer.
Oh God! Oh, you're talking about Carolina.
Yeah,
Carolina,
sorry,
yeah.
Carolina. I guess I should have said that. Can I just say James Reimer has beat the Boston Bruins?
Was it first time since Game 5,
Okay.
2013?
Okay. I'm just
Say
saying.
it took James Reimer. It literally his next time beating the Bruins in a playoff game, it had to be in Toronto. Like, what a slap to the face to us Leafs fans.
Well,
We have to remember the contributions of Jake Gardner as well.
yeah, except he
Yes.
only played a game though, so
Yeah.
okay. Sorry, Jake. Guess you weren't good enough.
Guards.
What the hell does Boston have to do next game? Like, why? I mean, they're winning, but it doesn't seem like they're playing like they were in like the President's Trophy team. Like, what the hell is missing?
I think there's consistency in their lines, but they're not gonna fly the same way they were before. When I'm like looking back on their lines, like they spread talent pretty well. I kind of like that Charlie Coyle's on that third line, kind of anchoring it with Sean Corelli and Jack Studnicka. That fourth line too, like could do something like Chris Wagner, Par Lindholm, Joakim Nordstrom. But like even like going up on the lines like that, Andre Kasha has really not kind of shown it since he come to Boston. But I like that he fits in there with I guess like DeBrusk's style of play and like kind of David Krejci as that anchor as well.
I think a huge thing that we got to mention too that you guys cannot forget, and I don't know how because I was on Bet365 ready to surrender my rent money to this game, but you guys cannot forget that the Carolina Hurricanes are playing without Andrei Svechnikov.
Yes.
You cannot forget that. Obviously hoping he's okay, hoping that nobody takes the Jack Edwards call on that personally. But
Yeah.
That's another big blow to Carolina.
Right.
Like, I think that's another thing that they're. I wonder what their lines are going to be without Andrei Svechnikov. I'm sure they've had their morning skate already, so they could see kind of what the practice lines are. But that's not good. Like,
No, and he's really proves himself to be an extremely important part of that team.
the guy was about to. The guy tried to do the Michigan move in a playoff game.
Yeah. That guy, he's
That
good,
takes
man.
some serious balls. I love it.
Okay. Oh, I guess they haven't updated it. Never mind.
What do you want, daily face-off?
Yeah, I thought they
Yeah,
updated
me too.
it.
I thought they would too, but no, he's
Not yet.
still there. Yeah.
I mean, I think, yeah, they lost Andrei Svechnikov, and I think that's a really huge blow to the team. And but at the beginning of the series, they got Dougie Hamilton back, and I know without Dougie Hamilton, they still have an incredible defensive core. Bringing in Brady Shea for a first-round pick, but how big of an addition is Dougie Hamilton? Like, looking at their series against the Rangers and how they dominated without Dougie Hamilton, how big of an addition is Dougie Hamilton to this team?
I think it's a real big ladder system for the Carolina Hurricanes. Every time they win a round, it looks like they get some form of compensation for it. So their compensation for beating the Rangers was we get Dougie Hamilton back. If they win this series, the likelihood is they'll get Brett Pesce back. Like, it's an incentive-based game there, I think. Or
Right.
Hopefully Svechnikov is back for the series, but who knows? But, like, I think Dougie Hamilton, I know they won without him, but they're playing a pretty defensively not sound Rangers team when Brendan Smith is on your first D pairing.
Right.
That'll tell you all. But like Dougie Hamilton, man, he had a Norris. He was running a Norris Trophy candidate final season.
Yeah.
If I'm saying if he wasn't injured, if he didn't get taken out there, then I think he definitely would have challenged for that Norris Trophy.
Oh, for sure.
So I think it's a huge addition.
What does next game look like?
What about Daniel? Actually, Daniel, you tell me.
Daniel, go. Sorry.
Yeah, I think same thing you guys said. You said, Mike. Like, I think he was my early pick for the Norris Trophy this year as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I actually like that whole thing you kind of said, like the compensation every round. Like, we always keep forgetting how stacked Carolina is on their defense. Like, every game now, but at the same time, like, all these guys coming back and. What we talked about Svechnikov, hoping all is good with him, that if he could keep running this kind of team, then, this is what they've always said. I think, like, on Overdrive, Jeff O'Neill's like, this is a contending team. This is a team we have to watch. And, I personally will take them over Boston this series.
You think so?
I think
I
so.
hope so.
I think in 6 games.
As a Leafs fan, I hope so, but I think so,
Bloody hope
too.
so. I hope so.
Yeah, I don't know if my motivation's from that or it's from pure, like, analysis right now.
What does next game look like with Boston without Pasternak again, and now potentially Carolina without Svechnikov?
Oh. It's a pretty even blow, I think, to both teams.
Well, who comes out on top? Like, because Boston's has that, I guess, experience in the playoffs that everyone loves talking about. But Carolina just seems like, if you look at who they have, the biggest guy there in terms of experience is Justin Williams. I mean, you could include Jake Gardiner if you want, but I don't think they care about losing experience.
Yeah. Stimbonkis, I don't know what Boston does from here, really. First off, like you said, putting Anders Bjork on your first line, what are you doing? I don't know, man. I still have my money on Carolina. I like Carolina. I think the Bruins, honestly, they don't look like the same Bruins that they were before.
Right.
I think they're getting President's Trophy cursed.
Really?
I really think that's happening.
They'll get knocked out of the first round?
That's embarrassing, but I think they're getting cursed.
Oh,
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 2014. Like, remember, high expectations after they made that final run against the Blackhawks and lost it in 2 minutes. And then, like,
wait, how many goals were they down?
They were winning by 1, and then, like, what was it? Like, Brian Bickle tied it up, and then Dave Bolland, like, seconds later, scored the game winner. But yeah, like, the next year,
traded for Dave Bolland.
Yeah, high expectation 2014, and then they're knocked out in the first round.
You love to see it.
Love to see the.
But then again, real Leafs fans.
Shh, it's okay, Mike. It's okay. It's okay.
I thought we were not talking about the Leafs yet, but it's
No.
Yeah, no. The who?
I don't know that team. Let's move on to the next one. The Blue Jackets versus the Lightning, which has been the longest series. They played an extra game and a half than everyone else. We still haven't talked about game one, where they played 5 overtimes. What the hell? Another Mike Milbury hot take right here that we shouldn't have. The game shouldn't have gone to 5 overtimes. You know what?
Screw you, Mike Mulberry.
It should have ended in a draw. Each team gets half a win. That's it. I'm done. Okay? After like 2 overtimes. I'm done with overtime. No. I'm not Mike
Those
Milbury.
shots, oh my gosh.
I'll watch 10
Tampa
overtimes.
shots, though, like compared to Columbus by the end of it.
My God, you're right.
But like as I was watching that game, I felt like they were just throwing things on net just to see if they'd go in. Like if they weren't the same quality.
Well, I mean, that's what happened with the goal that won it.
Yeah, it tipped off of someone, and then it's like
It absolutely just. I forgot who shot it, but they just smoked Gavrikov like right up top, like no regard for. Yeah, no. But Point's the one that scored it. It was whoever made the first shot just smoked Gavrikov just up high, and then it bounced, which gave it to Point, and then Point just ripped it, and Gavrikov's just like, dude, I just got smoked by a puck.
yeah, you got to feel
scored.
bad. You got.
I felt terrible for that guy.
You gotta feel bad, not just for Gavrikov, but for that entire team, because like they played John Tortorella hockey for
Korpisalo had how
2.5
many
games.
saves?
I believe like 80. I'll go check. But how the hell do you play? How do you play John Tortorella hockey for 2.5 games? That's incredible.
I think the biggest thing there that you got to get into is Seth Jones, man.
Yeah.
So let me put it this way. I was working 11 to 7 that day, and then I turned on the game because we have plenty of TVs in our control room. I don't care if work sees this. Yes, we all watch sports during work. We're focusing on our job, but we have TVs there for a reason. That game started at like 3:15, right?
Yeah.
I left work at 7:50 and still going. I got home at like 8. It was still going. I was like, what the hell is going on here, man? It's a 6-hour game.
It looks, that was incredible. Korpisalo had 85 saves.
Oh my gosh.
Good stuff, man. But Seth Jones, in the 5th overtime, when I saw that he played about 60-something minutes at that point, and he goes into the corner, and he's still hitting guys, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, that Seth
tank.
Jones played. Why can't I?
63 minutes.
65 minutes and 6
Oh my
seconds.
gosh.
Whoa.
Zach
Jesus
Werenski
Christ.
played 61 minutes. Holy crap!
So Seth Jones, I see him 65 minutes in. He's just hitting guys in the corner. I'm like, what? How? Like,
how do you have the energy? It's incredible.
I would have
that
puked
you
on
pulled
the
that
bench.
up.
I
Oh,
would
it
have
would have been a
puked on the
nightmare.
bench.
It would have been ugly.
I would have puked on the ice.
Sure.
Never mind the
Oh.
bench.
Oh God! Is this series Vasilevsky versus Korpisalo? Like, we know that Tampa Bay can score. We know that Columbus can shut down the Tampa Bay scoring if they have to. But it seems like this series has just turned into Korpisalo versus Vasilevsky.
Yeah, it's like, who's gonna blink? To be honest, like, I like the series a lot. I think compared to last year, this one's a lot more exciting. It's weird, like, without all those stars Columbus had, like, it is more evenly matched up, I think. I know, like,
Yeah.
given the Stamkos situation, but, Tampa's still Tampa without him.
Right.
Tampa still got Kucherov,
Yeah.
Edmund, Point. They still got some studs, whereas Pierre-Luc Dubois, who has played great, by the way, I'm not going to knock on him, but he's not to the caliber that these other players are.
He's breaking. This is his breakout playoffs,
Exactly.
right? Leon Draisaitl had that breakout playoffs and then just absolutely murdered it the next year, right? The
Yeah.
year after Draisaitl was dominant, I guess, for those 2 rounds, because again, they can't. Edmonton don't know how to do their job properly. Yeah, it's his breakout playoffs. It's spectacular. It is spectacular that they've pulled that off.
But to go with your question, I don't think exactly that it is a Vasilevsky versus Korpisalo game, because I think, like, yes, they're both great goaltenders, but I think it's still, at the end of the day, it's just a game of offense versus defense. I think both goalies are able and capable to make those saves that they're relied to make, and plus the extra save. But I think at the end of the day, it's more of, can Columbus do it without completely wearing down their goalie? Like Korpisalo will be able to play as long as he's not run down. Like, if he's not absolutely gassed, like if Columbus can still, like, muster up some shots.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I think, because honestly, with the way this model works, Korpisalo is, like, if they somehow beat Tampa here, I don't see them going I don't see them going further, man, because, like, Korpisalo is gonna be so run down as a team. They're so run down, man.
But they have the benefit of having Elvis Merzlikins. Like, I know he's injured.
Of course.
Now. I know he's, at the moment, he's unfit to play. We're assuming he's injured. But eventually he's going to come back, and they're not going to have to play Matisse Konvlenkins or whatever. Their third string goalie.
You know, you guys are allowed to have more. You guys know you don't just have to have Finnish goaltenders, right?
Yeah. What does Columbus? Because the thing we saw in the regular season is that Columbus really had to work to get their goals.
Yeah.
How do they do that against Tampa? Because again, this isn't like I'm not even going to compare it to the Leafs, because it's Hedman, Bogosian, McDonough, and Sergachev, and Kevin Shattenkirk, and whoever the hell their 6th defenseman is.
Braden Colburn.
Like Braden Colburn. It's not like Toronto.
Yeah, actually it is.
Like, it's an actual defense core. So
It's not Cody Ceci.
No, it's not Cody Ceci and Tyson Barrie who don't know how to play defense. So what the hell do they have to do to get past that?
Be smart with their shots.
Yeah, I think Columbus, like I said, it's important for them not to get worn down because they're not on the offense as much. But at the same time, that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to wear down with their forecheck. Like, if they can get deep into their zone, deep into Tampa's zone, just throw them in the corner, man. Like, just body them, and that's going to tire them down. Like, when you're playing that beat-em-up style of hockey, that's what Torts is preaching here, and that's what you're going to do. Like, if you're getting in the corner with Ryan McDonough, if you're getting in the corner with Mikhail Sergachev, if you want to tire them out, then that's what you're doing. Like, you're playing that hard-nosed hockey that we're going to lower your chances in the neutral zone and the defensive in your offensive zone. Like, we're going to neutralize your chances. We're going to make you guys tired. We're going to make you guys stressed out that this is just getting stupid now. Like, that's been their A game because they just play so hard. And that's how you shut down that kind of D-core.
Okay. How about the other way around? Like, yes, Tampa Bay has one of the best, even without Stamkos, has a very good offensive depth. Like, that third line of Goudreau, Coleman, and I want to say Yanni Gourde, or it's one of Yanni Gourde or Alex Killorn, one of those two guys. Like, that's your third line. Like, what would that be on Columbus? Like, what line would that be on
your
Columbus?
Second line in Columbus,
yeah, right? And when you're when you're playing that rough and tough style that Torts likes to play, that's gonna tire you out too. So how does the defense continue to stop?
You're asking the questions that are basically saying, "We get it, Alex. You do not think Tampa can lose this."
I don't think they can
They
lose
shouldn't
it.
lose it.
They
Yeah.
shouldn't lose it, and I very well know they can because I go back 1 year ago.
History
And they,
has proven.
yeah, like they lost four straight to Columbus,
But that's
and
also a team that had offense.
yeah, because they had Panarin, they had Duchesne, they had, I guess, Dzingel, they had
They had Bob.
Yeah, they had Bobrovsky, who was an actual goalie. I don't know exactly what he is anymore, but he's kind of just a stick in the net.
He got money, and now he's chilling.
Yeah. I can see Columbus doing it, but I think the players know. I think John Cooper knows that if they do not beat Columbus again, there's a serious conversation that might have to be had about John Cooper. There's going to be changes, whether people like it or not. You have to re-sign Mikhail Sergachev. You have to re-sign Anthony Cirelli, and neither of those players are going to be cheap.
No.
Like, okay, you did it last year with Braden Point. You signed him for the 6 year. You signed for 3 years, $6 million. But Andre Vasilevsky is about to make $9.5 million.
Yeah. They don't have money?
Like, they don't have money. They figured it out. They figured it out last year. Traded Ryan Callahan, and they had to give up nothing. They had to give up a pick to get rid of that dead money because Pierre Dorian, I don't know what the hell he was saying.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the last year with their core, because their core is Hedman, Stamkos, Kucherov. I guess if you want to include McDonough, or if you want to include Braden Point, of course. But
Anthony Cirelli.
And is Anthony Cirelli, are we considering him part of the core?
I would.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, dude, he's their second-line center right now, and he's doing it really well.
Future Selke candidate.
I think he's definitely going to win a Selke.
Yeah. It's just how long until one of these guys has to go because you're cap strapped. Like, you have Alex Killorn, Yanni Gourde, and Andre Palat, who all happen to have no move or no trade clauses.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was a good idea.
I think with this core too, it's just like it's what I'm just feeling is like, it's too good to fail in a way. Like what they also did at the deadline as well, like selling those first round picks for like Coleman, Barclay Goudreau, like that the Goudreau one I was like kind of iffy about, but it's just they also gave away Kalen Foote in that trade for Blake Coleman. It's just. They're throwing.
It's just, dude, they're all in, man. It's like it's exactly what happened with Columbus last year. Just to make the playoffs, they went all in. But the only thing is, Tampa has so much more expectations on them, whereas Columbus, I really don't think Columbus has that kind of pressure to play with, which just makes it that much more different for them.
It's like the Roman Empire in a way. They're too good to fail.
Unbelievable. What should we expect for the rest of the series?
A bloodbath.
Yeah.
Is this a series that could go 7 games?
I'm capping it at 6.
Daniel?
Yeah, I feel like Columbus is going to try to go for the 7, but I feel like they're going to run out of fumes by the 6th game.
Right.
Like Alexander Wenberg is playing beyond what Alexander Wenberg is.
Wasn't that guy supposed to be bought out or something? Wasn't that the talk that I'm pretty sure that was the talk last summer.
That's why he's giving us those highlight reels. We have to remember him.
Mm-hmm. So then the next TB goes to they pay him.
Yeah,
the big bucks. What? We're all in agreement that Tampa Bay should win this series.
Most certainly.
Okay, good. That's great to hear. Last series in the East, and then we'll get to everyone's favorite series, the West. Capitals versus Islanders, which just happens to be on TV now. I don't know. I'm going to tell you the score anyways. It's 1-1.
Never mind. They tied it up?
Yeah, Washington just scored.
Good stuff.
On the power play. Are the Islanders surprising anyone, or is it just me that they're surprising?
I'm not surprised, to be honest.
Me neither.
It's the system.
They have the Eggman Barry Trotz. That's what he's referred to by one of my favorite YouTube channels, Urinating Tree. But yes, he wants that rebound. He wants that revenge.
Sorry, I can't get over the Eggman.
I was dying to it. What he said.
I can't get over the Eggman.
He made this Urinating Tree guy. He made a YouTube video on the 2018 free agency day, and it's like when Johnny T signed. But then he's talking about the Islanders. He's like, "Don't worry, I understand the frustration of losing Tavares, but you guys made a whole change up. You brought in the Eggman." And I was like, "What?"
I've never heard that ever.
I love it.
I might just start calling him that because that sounds
Eggman.
hilarious.
I didn't make it up, man. Urinating Tree on YouTube.
Okay.
No free ads. I'm sorry, but he's hilarious.
What the hell is going on with Washington? Because it's not like they're just like last game. I believe was 4-2. Or no, last game was 5-2. The game before that was 4-2. And Braden Holtby, like based on his numbers, does not look looking good at all.
Yeah, they wish Samsonov was playing.
Ooh, that is a tough one. I mean, I already thought Braden Holtby was going right to free agency. I did not think that they were going to re-sign Braden Holtby, but I think this might be it.
Yeah, it hasn't shown to be that top-tier goalie we kind of expected him to be. You know, he's had those rough patches already in the playoffs, too. I remember when Philip Grubauer started over him.
Yes.
Against Columbus. And, yeah, it's a sad, like, a bit of a decline here. You know, maybe he needs a new environment.
I think that'd be huge,
Calgary will overpay for him.
Or Buffalo.
Kill himself if he goes to Buffalo.
God, let's not talk about Buffalo. We don't want to. let's not go there. We know how we all feel about Buffalo. There's two guys on Washington who don't have points that surprise me. Jacob Verana, 0 points, and he's a -5. And I know plus minus is an awful way to determine how good or bad a player is, but in 2 games, a -5 and 0 points. The second guy, and Adam's gonna hate me for saying this, Ilya Kovalchuk. I thought this guy was supposed to be good. I thought he was supposed to be good. What the hell's going on in Washington?
They seem deflated.
They're in Leafland.
They're in Leafland.
Yes.
What's Leafland?
The players that are supposed to be doing well aren't doing well.
I mean, you look at, like, John Carlson has 3 points. I mean, is he that good defensively?
No.
No. Is he going to win the Norris? Yes.
No.
Probably.
Maybe.
But because he... No. The question is he going to win the Norris? Not if he deserves to win the Norris.
That is true.
If he deserves to win the Norris, that's a no. But he's going to win the Norris because he put up massive amounts of points, because we forgot how to look at what an actual defenseman is. He's like, I just don't, it feels like Ovi has 2 goals. I just felt like I would have seen more of Ovi. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like I haven't seen much of Ovi.
That guy's old and he sucks.
Wow, that is the hottest take. That is the hottest take.
I'm kidding. Nothing but respect for Ovechkin. He's the greatest goal scorer of all time. That is my hot take.
That he's the greatest goal scorer of all time?
Yes.
I don't think that's a hot take.
Because I don't want those Gretzky sympathizers coming up and be like,
I make the argument that Gretzky's number 1. I also make the argument that Ovechkin's number 2.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah, no.
We're close to the same thing. We're almost on the same team.
I just want to rile everyone's feathers. I have nothing but respect for the Green 8. He's the best. My first ever hockey game I watched in person was Toronto versus Washington, and I don't tell you how it went.
Yeah. Was it when Washington was when Toronto was good or
No.
okay. Like what
This,
year? Just just say a year and I'll
I think like 13 or 14.
Oh,
We still had Phil.
that one hurt. That was a low blow. 13, 14. Do you think Barry Trotz is just having fun on the bench knowing he knows exactly what the hell Washington's gonna do?
Yeah, man, that's the biggest thing that people forget. He knows, like, obviously he hasn't been on the team for 2 years, but he knows that team.
Mhm.
How much? But I think how much has Washington, like in terms of style of play, has they changed? Have they changed since Barry Trotz left?
It's a bit more free flowing in a way.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
haven't been packing a punch
Mhm.
as before.
But I think they did a really. It's funny. They did a really good job in game one, pissing Tom Wilson off.
Yeah.
I think in the first period alone, he had 9 penalty minutes.
Yeah, he did, actually.
That's
That was
unacceptable. Oh my gosh. For like one of your top line guys.
He's on your first
Yeah.
line. He's on your first line. Imagine saying Tom Wilson's on your first line. I think that's crazy. But it just seems like Barry Trotz is just having fun on the bench. I haven't seen his eye twitch yet, which might be a good sign.
They finally gave him that system like type of team, like all of these guys are kind of like dialing into, his defensive game and saying, it's like a field test for him against the Capitals. Like, let's see with what I've kind of compiled here in New York, and let's put this against Washington now.
Yeah. I look at what's happened with Washington and what's happening with New York. And when I look at New York, it seems like almost everyone's gotten a point. And I think the guys who haven't gotten a point, I'm not surprised by. Broussard, Cizikas, because we all love Casey Cizikas, Andy Green.
I got killed somebody.
Oh, I remember that.
And Leo Komarov. Everyone loves Leo Komarov. And Devin Tays.
I miss Komarov. I don't miss Komarov now, but
No, you don't. Not for $3 million.
I missed him. Yeah, I missed him when he wasn't at $3 million.
Do you miss him for $3 million?
I miss All-Star Leo Komarov.
Yeah, when he was on that first line with Mike Babcock.
Stop it, Daniel. I
Yeah,
know they
remember.
suck. I get it, Daniel. The team sucked, and I had to deal with it. Okay, I know. The biggest difference, I feel like New York's getting offense from just everywhere, and I feel like this is something I'm going to talk about in multiple other series too. But they're getting offense from everywhere, whereas Washington is really just getting offense from that top 6. And I think that's a huge point. Like and I think again, let's go back to Edmonton because I love ripping on that team. But the issue with Edmonton is they're literally getting offense from 3 players. And I think I think that might be happening with this team.
Yeah, like, a lot of up and down guys in that bottom 6, like, that they could be hot or they could be cold, like Carl Hagelin, Kovalchuk, Richard Panik. It's just guys that, you expect to kind of help with that secondary offense, but they just haven't shown up.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's 1-1 now. They got someone upset. I'd ask you what's next? Like, does New York sweep Washington? Hot take right here.
Washington
Ready to say
has
yes?
won. Oh, I'll say 5 games.
I wouldn't be surprised if New York swept Washington, and I think my opinion's completely changed since Monday because I thought Washington for sure had the series, just because you'd expect. I took what happened in the playing rounds with a grain of salt. Like Boston didn't look good. Even St. Louis didn't look great. Like all the teams just looked like they didn't care about the round robin game.
The only team in the round robin that looked good was Vegas.
Yeah. And everyone else just looked meh. And so I had to take it with a grain of salt. But I feel like multiple teams have come into the actual playoffs and continue to play like meh. Washington, Boston. I'm probably missing a team, and we'll probably get to them eventually. But I mean, like, you guys asked to play the round robin games. You said we need to play competitive games. This is your version of competitive games. You all agreed to it, and now you're playing like garbage. I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for.
Tell me
those
how you
guys.
really feel.
I did. I did tell them how I really feel. Okay, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm telling you how I really feel. I guess we should move on to the West because everyone really loves the West.
Save the best series for last.
Which one is that?
Vegas.
Good. Okay. Good. That's what I was gonna do. Let's start with Calgary and Dallas. Matthew Tkachuk.
Interesting matchup.
Yeah, it is an interesting matchup. You looked at, well, obviously Matthew Tkachuk's out, so that's a huge loss for the team.
Yeah.
But in the play-in series, it looked like some of their stars were coming out. Sean Monahan and Johnny Gaudreau actually looked kind of decent.
Johnny Hockey.
What happened here? Gaudreau, 1 point. Monahan, no points. What's going on?
I think it's that low-hanging fruit concept we talked about. Like, it's kind of way, like, they kind of feasted on the Jets, that
Right.
depleted team. And then now I think, Dallas is not perfect, but, they're filled in a little better along their lines.
Right.
So I think now this is like the bigger test of are these guys real playoff performers? Is Gaudreau, Monahan really going to be your staple guys you could kind of rely on moving forward?
I mean, based on history, the answer to that would be no.
Yeah.
I think this is all Tkachuk's. This is what Tkachuk gets for intentionally trying to end Shifley's career. I'm kidding. No, that was a hockey play. If you think that was on purpose, stop watching hockey. But no, I think the Flames, dude, honestly, I had Dallas winning this series. But the Flames have looked like the better team. Like, the Flames, they're playing hard, and that's what you want. I mean, it's you hope Tkachuk comes back because honestly, throughout the playoffs, I think he is their X factor. But when you're having guys like Johnny Gaudreau, who looked at crap this year, finally putting up some totals, same with Sean Monahan, hell, even Sam Bennett, looks good. Like, when you have like that, like when you have a full team effort, that's what's gonna win it for you. Like, when you have a team that's Dallas that literally, do you have any offense on Dallas not named Tyler Seguin and Alexander Radulov? Jamie Benn is not Art Ross Jamie Benn anymore.
No.
Who else do you have on that team?
I mean, I'd argue
Miro Heiskanen.
And
Miro Heiskanen. John Klingberg is not being the same John Klingberg he was before.
Right.
Miro Heiskanen is literally, that's it. It's those three. That's the cast. Ben Bishop and Hudobin. Hudobin played over Bishop one game, didn't he?
Yeah, Hudobin's played 2 games.
That's pretty. Look how much you paid for Ben Bishop. Look what Ben Bishop's expectations are. And don't get me wrong, that's no knock on Hudobin. Hudobin's a great goalie.
Yeah.
But he's your backup.
It just seems like one of the things that has not.
My dad was pissed about that. I'm just going to say, shout out my dad. My dad's a big Ben Bishop fan.
Yeah.
My dad's like, what the fuck? He wasn't like, what the fuck? But my dad's enjoying these playoffs.
Who isn't enjoying these playoffs? I mean, I didn't enjoy the playoffs for a few days, but
yeah,
I'm back.
It took me some time.
It took some time.
We can love again.
But no, we can't, Daniel. I can't love this team. Ben Bishop. It just seems like one of the things Dallas hasn't been getting is goaltending.
It's been like a
surprising
huge story for them. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's surprising because you have these 2 goalies.
and
You have Ben Bishop, who is literally a truck. You have Ben Bishop. You can't see a single net a single hole in that net with Ben Bishop in there. He's like 7'8". Okay, well he's like 6'5" or something. Yeah, I know, but like he's huge.
And they were one of the best 1A, 1B duos this year.
They were challenging for the Jennings over Boston with Yarrow and Rask.
Yeah. It's disappointing. Like, you'd expect, like, you know what? You look at the team and, throughout the year, you'd make an argument that Dallas was messy, but on paper, they should be good. And it's just, again, you think, okay, it's the playoffs. Things are going to change. Like, you look, like Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, Joe Pavelski, even John Klingberg.
Corey Perry.
Okay, Corey Perry, because he's has playoff experience.
Corey Perry walking out of the Heritage Classic. Like,
that's what this is. That's what's happening. They're walking out
to curse this team.
Yeah.
I remember Corey Perry, he was talking in an interview. He's like, they offered me a go-kart off. But I was like, no. They're not a go-kart. They offered me a the golf cart where you sit in the back and they drive you off. He's like, they offered me that. And in hindsight, after that walk of shame, I 1,000% wish I took that golf cart.
It was so much better without the golf cart.
Meme.
It was
the memedom. The memedom was just.
I've never seen more memes, hockey memes of something before, except this one. For sure.
I don't know why Corey Perry's such a good guy. I don't know why people do that to him.
Daniel.
Oh yeah.
Daniel, great guy, Corey
Mr.
Perry.
Anaheim. Mr. Anaheim over here.
Because when you think of Corey Perry, you think of great guy. Yeah, because when never mind. I'm not going to make a loose analogy. Adam's going to get upset.
I hate it here.
Jamie can we talk about how good Jamie Alexiak is, though?
Dude, shout out Jamie Alexiak, man.
I don't know who I was listening to. It must have been a Sportsnet thing, but someone goes, "Yeah, Jamie Alexiak." Oh, it was Nick Kyprios. They were because he has his own show.
Real Kypriot nude.
Yeah, and
how good?
It's so good. And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Penny's brother." I'm like, who the hell's Penny's brother?
Do you not remember Penny Alexiak?
I do, but at the time, he didn't say Jamie Alexiak. He just started with Penny's brother. I'm like, who the hell's Penny?
That
like,
actually
who
happened.
The hell's her brother?
With there was like a newspaper in Pittsburgh when Jamie got traded to the Penguins. It just says Penny Alexiak's brother traded to the Penguins.
No.
Yeah, the headline. Yeah,
that's so bad.
You gotta feel bad. You gotta feel a little bad for him. But the Dylan Dubé. I guess we should go back to the Calgary.
World Junior captain.
I knew Daniel was going to say that.
Yes.
As soon as I searched up Dylan Dubé and it said World Juniors, I had to put him on the list because he has 3 goals.
I'm not surprised.
Of course you aren't, Daniel. Of course you aren't, because he was a World Junior captain. With Canada?
Yes.
Of course. What maybe Fred. Maybe he's French. I don't know. Do they have a World Junior team?
What?
I don't know.
France?
Yeah, but they're like in a lower division.
Maybe they do.
Maybe they had Pajot one time. I don't know.
What should we expect for the rest of the series? Like, the way Calgary's been playing, you'd expect Calgary should continue. The way Dallas has been playing and the goaltending they've been getting, doesn't seem like it's going to look good for the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, it's like two teams that, like you've said before, Alex, like on paper, these teams should be, really good.
Right.
Or, maybe I'm mistaken with what year I'm looking at of Jamie Benn, but, these are teams that they should be a lot better on based on how they, kind of spent in a way, how they've added pieces through the years, saying like this is our core, and we're gonna commit to it long term. The way it's kind of been is two teams that I don't know how the series is gonna go because there's just so many flaws on every side of it. Like so many people are underperforming, and then you have certain guys maybe stepping up in your bottom 6, or your bottom pairings, and now I'm actually really confused with what I was talking about with this point because I actually can't pick a team. Because
come on, again, you.
To be honest, whoever advances, I was be like, if it's a more complete team they face, for sure they're out. But I don't know if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Calgary.
Okay.
If I have to pick one on the spot, it'd be the Flames.
Okay. Okay, we're back. What do you think, Mike, is going to happen with the rest of the series with the Dallas Stars and the Calgary Flames?
That's a good one, dude. That's a tough series. I think Calgary's gonna come away with it. I think it's gonna be like a close fought battle. But I think it's Calgary's game to lose, really.
Right.
I think with the struggles and goaltending that we were talking about, I think with the offensive struggles that they have on Dallas, I really think, like, on paper they have a better team, but it's not clicking, and that's going to be their downfall. And I got to give it to Calgary, who's been playing hard ever since the play-in round.
For sure.
So
For sure.
I think from here it's Calgary's game.
Okay, let's move on to the next series. Arizona Coyotes versus the Colorado Avalanche. And the only reason Arizona is in this series is because of Darcy Kemper.
Yeah.
I mean,
Darcy Kemper has taken some abuse in that net.
like, we can go back to the first game. Colorado had like double Arizona shots in the first two periods.
No Kachuk in warm up, by the way, since we just finished that.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Shoot. How are
Hudobin playing? Cam
Really?
Talbot.
Oh my
Anton
God.
Hudobin.
Oh
Ben
my
Bishop. Ben
God.
Bishop is unfit to play. Jake
Unfit to
Ottinger will back up Hudobin. Hudobin versus Cam Talbot.
Oh.
No Kachuk
Okay.
in warm up.
Okay. That's interesting. But what the hell is there? What are the Arizona Coyotes doing? What's going on? Kessel, no points. Dvorak, no points. Ekman Larson, no points. Like, the guys who we said that were playing well in the play-in series against Nashville just seem to not be showing
Just
up.
gone.
It
Back
seems
to their
like
old habits.
It's like, yeah.
Back at it again.
The only guy who actually looks decent is Taylor Hall. Like, obviously, Taylor Hall and Clayton Keller seem to look okay, and of course we expected Taylor Hall to do that because that guy needs to get paid, or else Darren Ferris is gonna have to send him to Europe. Okay, what the hell do they need to do?
Shoot more.
Stop sucking.
That'd be a good start. I agree with Mike.
Like, you need some. If you have these kinds of caliber stars, you need them to step up. You need your captain Ekman Larson to step up. Like, I don't know what Rick Tocchet's doing there, but he's got to get these guys to wake up, because otherwise, like, they're digging themselves a deep hole. Darcy Kemper is going to get tired, and it's not sustainable. It's similar to the fact that it's similar to the Columbus series, but the only thing is that you actually have firepower on this team.
Right.
It's just you're not using it. So at that point, you just have an empty roster spot. Because, like, you know what? In the playoff round and in the play-in round, I even saw Phil Kessel like forechecking.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, he doesn't.
It's not Phil Kessel.
Yeah.
If they want to beat this team, this Colorado team that's just so complete, which I regain some form here. They need everybody to dig in. They need everybody to contribute. And so far, it has even Connor Garland. Connor Garland was like their best player for the season, arguably, which is a tough soak. Because, like, no knock on Connor Garland. He's not supposed to be your team's MVP.
Right. It's very messy.
That's like when Chris Wagner scored 2 out of the 4 goals for Boston's round robin.
It sounds like you really like Chris Wagner, if I'm being honest.
I'm actually a fan of Chris Wagner, just from the way he's played, and just because I hate Boston and love to see them suffer that Chris Wagner's their best player.
God.
Fourth liners make a difference.
Hey, I mean, the game that's on TV right now, fourth line of Matt Martin, Casey Zizekas, Cal Clutterbuck. You couldn't ask for a better fourth line right there, okay? I'm just putting that out there. I mean, there's not much else
Colorado,
to say.
I think, has got this, man.
It's easy. Colorado. I mean,
It's
we've talked
bit of
about
a mess.
Colorado.
Yeah, Arizona.
Other than like the simple thing for Arizona, the players who played well during the play-in series has to step up. Darcy Kemper, like he was your saving grace during the season when he was not injured, and he's your saving grace now. It's it. If those players stepped up, it's a completely different conversation. Colorado, on the other hand, looks absolutely dominant. That first line, Nathan McKinnon, Gabriel Landeskog, Mikko Rantanen, even Cale Makar. Like we'll talk about Quinn Hughes in a few minutes, but like these guys,
the real pick for my pick,
the real
for Calder.
Yeah, these guys look like it just looks like a team, and their first line is dominant. Like their second line, I think is Kadri, Donskoy, and Burakovsky, I believe.
Yeah,
and like I mean, that's not the worst second line.
it's
Especially Nazem Kadri, who, hey, I think this is a record. He hasn't been suspended yet. Okay.
You love to see it.
Love to see him actually playing. Which I love to see Kadri play anyways. Sorry, their second line is Donskoy, Kadri, and Nichushkin.
It's okay.
Nichushkin, the guy that was tossed away for yeah. Who has blossomed, man. He's looked really good now. Change of scenery. Ever since he didn't score in like how long?
In Dallas, right?
I'd pick
the
Stars.
Yeah. But Colorado's got such a deep team, and obviously you got guys like Nathan McKinnon firing. But it's good though that you're able to. And I was listening to no offense, one of my favorite podcasts. Oh. Sorry. So listening to Spittin' Chicklets.
Why are you apologizing for listening to Spittin' Chicklets?
Because I said my favorite podcast.
Oh, you mean this podcast is your favorite podcast?
I'm sorry, I'll leave right now.
That's definitely disappointing.
I'll leave right now. I will take off. But anyways, I was listening to Chicklets.
Yeah.
And Paul Bizinet, who played in the NHL, I don't know if you know who that is, but he played in the NHL here and there, and he said it well. I don't know if they're still sticking with this. I think they're actually not right now, but it worked for the first little bit. What they did now when they made that trade for that trade, that everyone's like, what the hell? For Vlad Nemesnikov at the deadline.
Yeah.
What they've been doing is they've been playing Nemesnikov on that first line with McKinnon and Rantanen, and then you shift Landeskog down and play him with Kadri and Nichushkin, and that just separates. Like it helps to separate and spread around that offense, and it like, dude, like that's genius. Like, I mean, I'm not saying Nemesnikov is like a friggin' stud that's gonna score 40 goals a year or anything. No, but I mean, it's just a smart move because teams are expecting that top line, and they're going to isolate that top line. But if you could spread around that line, even if it's Landeskog, who I'm not going to say he's like the third or like he's like lower than McKinnon and Rantanen, but like I don't think he's older. He isn't the caliber of McKinnon, most certainly.
He's their third best. He's a third best.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm not saying like he's weighing them down or anything. But if you spread that offense and you're putting him with Kadri and Nichushkin, that's honestly, like, I love that move. I think it's great, especially when you're playing against a team that, well, not defensively sound, but a team that's got a wall like Darcy Kemper.
Right. I have Daily Faceoff up. I don't think.
Yeah, I know. I have it on right now, but they had it on before, so I guess they're switching it out because Nemesnikov isn't even in the lineup, which I think is a grave sin. Yeah,
I really like that Nemesnikov pickup. I never understood why they paid a fourth and a pit prospect.
Man, I don't even get why the Rangers got rid of him.
Yeah. Like, I don't know why.
Was it like a cap? I think it was a cap.
It was. I
cap
think.
move,
yeah, it was a cap solution.
I never understand why Ottawa made a move like that and then got nothing back, nothing of significance back.
Phil Dylan DeMello too.
Yeah, I guess. either way, I think it was a great pickup. Like, I mean, they couldn't get Taylor Hall. Chris Kreider obviously wasn't an option. After
Ended up re-signing, yeah.
And I think Vladimir Mestikov, I really like that. It was a depth
Good
move.
low-key
It was
pick,
perfect. And it was a 4th-round pick, and that's it. And really, when it comes to Colorado, it's probably be closer to a 5th-round pick than anything.
But not even that too. But like, if you watch their decor has looked really good. Like and I'm not saying like they're putting up a zillion points, but it's not good for Arizona when players like Eric Johnson and Nikita Zadorov look like puck-moving defensemen against your team. And no knock on them, because Nikita Zadorov has delivered some great highlight reel hits that I love watching, but he's not a puck-moving two-way defenseman.
No.
And to see him do that against Arizona's got to, if they want any chance in hell at even winning another game, then you gotta limit that.
Yeah,
that's good point that you guys brought up with. When it came to they have that versatility in their lineup to kind of spread that talent and that rock solid defense. Like, I'm a big Sam Girard fan.
I love Sam Girard. Man. He's great.
To have that team against the Coyotes, who not only on the ice, there's been a lot of inconsistencies, but the whole management thing must still be on their mind. To be that team.
They've had a lot to deal with.
Yeah, it's a battle of, I guess, not just things on the ice, which has been the product of it, but also, your stability everywhere else.
Yeah.
Do Colorado win the next 2 games?
I think so. I think Colorado's winning the next 2 games. I think if they don't, then they'll win the 3rd game, because Darcy Kemper is just going to be so run down. But if anything, this is Colorado's game to lose if everything blows up in their face, really.
Yeah, for sure. Daniel?
Yeah, I think Colorado's got this. I think with Darcy Kemper, he's going to get drilled with shots, but it's going to be a war of attrition for him. He's eventually going to kind of succumb to the lack of support.
I had so much hope for Arizona. They looked like they were going to give Colorado a run for their money based on how they played in the first.
And then what happened?
Series, and then Phil Kessel didn't show up.
No one showed up.
Oliver Ekman-Larsson didn't show up.
And man, you got to give credit to Philip Grubauer. He's looked good.
For sure. Did Pavel Francouz play 1 game?
I don't know. I will check. I haven't been able to watch much of this series because I've been working my bag off, but no, he played second. He played the last game.
He played
game 2. Sorry, he played game 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he played. He played. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. Second last series in the West, St. Louis and Vancouver, and I have it here that Tyler Myers is not going to play in the 3rd game.
Giraffe himself.
It's a shoulder injury. He is out for game 3. Quick turnaround to game 4, so probably won't play then either. Do you know who's going to be replacing Tyler Myers?
Ole Ulevy?
Habs legend Jordy Ben.
No way.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Ulevy. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
No.
I was thinking that too, because I remember he was taking a bit of.
Well, he's a possible replacement.
Yeah.
It says
Ulevy played, didn't he? Or am I losing my mind?
I can double check that. All it says here is Travis Green spoke well of possible replacement Jordy Ben yesterday, but he was away for birth of child and missed camp.
I can see Ben and Fantenberg playing on that bottom pairing.
That's what's on daily face-off right now. It's Fantenberg and Jordy Ben.
Oof. That is a tough one.
Okay, yeah, but it's Tyler Myers, man. Like, the guy's...
I guess, but it's just... There's Tyler Myers, and then there's Jordy Ben.
I know when we got into the series, when we said we were getting into the West, I said that Vegas and Chicago is the most exciting series. But I think this one is too. I think this series is really, really exciting too with how it's gone. Especially, I hate Vancouver, but you got to give credit to Bo Horvat, even though I've just been shooting him down all year, and then the guy proceeds to undress like just undress St. Louis in 2 games.
I mean, there's guys who have shown up. There's a guy who showed up who I didn't think was going to show up in Tanner Pearson.
You're right.
3 points in 2 games.
Boy is back.
Holy. And that's a guy who I'd argue that I think there might be a new market for Tanner Pearson, considering the struggles the Vancouver Canucks are about to enter in terms of cap.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he might be, I think he's going to be a casualty of that.
Which sucks, but, you know, at least he found it again. Like, you know, he struggled I think the last bit in LA. He struggled in Pittsburgh for sure. And now at least he found himself in Vancouver.
Which sucks that now you guys are not going to have him.
Yeah. But I think a big guy who's really shown up the entire playoffs is Quinn Hughes.
Hell yeah.
Who should be the Calder.
He has my Calder vote.
I've been convinced of
it,
yes.
Daniel and I have said we have been convinced that Quinn Hughes should be the Calder winner.
I think so too.
They've looked really good. I think he plays with.
Sorry, no, Kubalik dessert. Kidding.
Stop
Sorry.
it. Stop
no,
it.
no, Alex, stop.
I'm done with your jokes, Mike. I'm done.
Screw you, Mike.
But, I mean, Quinn Hughes and Chris Tanev are playing together. You know, future Leaf Chris Tanev.
Shut up.
Brock
At right side.
Brock O'Nielsen in a second. What?
Shut up. just shut up.
Do you remember when they offered Troy Stetcher for Tyson Berry?
I do remember that.
Do you?
Would you have taken that?
In hindsight, I think
Probably,
so.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I think I might have. But so I don't want to think about it. I can't do this. But I think Vancouver, like I think Adam does not like Vancouver at all. I really think he did not like the Tyler Toffoli edition. I really like the Tyler Toffoli edition.
It's worked wonders.
And it sucks that he's not playing right now. I think he's injured.
Yeah.
But
Lee Eriksson's in the top 6 again.
It's stressing me out. I'm not even a Canucks fan. Louis Eriksson in the top 6. With Tyler Toffoli in the top 6, I really think that's a pretty good, damn good top 6. Miller, Pettersson, Besser. Besser hasn't even taken a shot.
That's really bad.
I didn't even know
surprisingly hasn't taken a single shot, but has 4 assists.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because he's getting traded.
For
Tyler Toffoli money,
for a bag of pucks.
They're Tyler Toffoli money. I remember when I read that report, I'm like, why the hell would they trade Brock Besser? Are you stupid? Are you dumb?
I don't know who came up with the idea. And then
it's probably the Steve Simmons of Vancouver.
Stop with Steve Simmons. We're not bringing up Steve Simmons on this podcast. I've had enough. What happened? We know obviously Markstrom. That guy's on point still. They better goddamn sign him.
Hey, what do you guys think Quinn Hughes was saying to Tyler Bozak there?
Probably called him a scrub and a few expletive words.
He loved this game in Toronto, I think.
Stop it.
We all love Tyler Bozak in Toronto.
I do love Tyler Bozak. I was very happy when he won the cup.
Yeah, because a new Leaf has to win with the team they go to after they're done with the Leafs.
And that's why Carolina is winning this year.
For Jake.
And James.
And Reimer.
And James.
And that draft pick, sorry.
What draft pick?
And the
one that we gave them.
The one that did I miss?
No,
Am I
the
missing
Leafs
something?
pick this year.
Remember, we lost.
Yeah, I remember. Thanks, Lou. Thank you, Lou. Okay, let's just put that out there, you Kyle Dubas haters out there. So, we know why Vancouver's good. What the hell's going on with St. Louis? Was Jordan Binnington a fraud? What? Hot take?
Hey, don't no. You that's just a stupid take. That's not even a hot take. That's just not right. What's wrong? Give your head a shake, Alex.
No, I love Jordan Binnington. He's from Richmond
Yeah.
Hill, Ontario.
Ugh.
Hey, don't
But-
talk about Richmond Hill like that. I heard that scoff.
The
But,
suburbs are cool.
Yeah, I'm from Etobicoke, okay? So, like, yeah.
Okay,
But-
tell me what's wrong with St. Louis if it's not Jordan Binnington.
Dude, they just look like just garbage. Like, I don't really know how to put it. Like, they don't look like the cup winning team they were last year.
Right.
They don't have the same drive, I think. Like
They
no
don't.
one's really kind of like performing to
I mean,
what
No one's
they
stepping up.
Yeah.
Tarasenko, 0 points. Parayko, 0 points. Falk, 0 points. Bozak, 0 points. Shen, 1 point. O'Reilly, 1 point.
And hear this: Blues coach Craig Berube was non-committal when asked if he would start Jake Allen tonight. There's a possibility that Binnington's not even playing tonight.
Wow.
That's something I'll discuss with the coaching staff. That's as far as I'm going to take it.
So we're
But we
not-
can't lose here, though. They're both former World Junior goalies for Canada.
Oh my god!
It's Daniel and the Anaheim Ducks and the Canadian World Junior team. That's
I love it, but like, oh my god!
Well, I mean, future
But, like-
Leaf Alex Petrangelo has 3 points. I just want to point that out.
not happening, man. But like, I mean, if you look at it though, you can understand why
Yeah.
Binnington's allowed 9 goals on 47 shots in 2 games. He's 0-4 with a 4.27 goals against,
Mm-hmm.
and in this playoffs, a .862 save percentage.
Yeah.
That's not going to cut it. That's not good. That's not who he was last year when he single-handedly, well, not single-handedly, but when he dragged this team from 31 to 1.
Yeah, it's not.
Jaden Schwartz has looked really good. David Perron has looked really good. Hell, even Sammy Blaze has looked really good. But he has not looked as good as Quinn Hughes, as their captain, Bo Horvat, who, like I said, oh my God, who just ended careers with with that coast-to-coast shorthanded goal there. Like, come on, how are you? But, like, all in all, Vancouver's just that much more bought in, which I hate because I hate Vancouver. But like I said, and like you said, Markstrom hasn't missed a beat, man. Markstrom has looked good. Markstrom has looked really good. Pettersson has looked good. Like, there's just everything is going well. Well, everything is going completely south with St. Louis.
I thought this was a team that could potentially repeat.
Me
But-
too.
But
yeah.
again, once this series started against Vancouver, they changed my mind. And again, they can change my mind again by winning the next 4 games.
Because, like, the other thing I kind of felt was, like, they don't have that Stanley Cup hangover in a way. Like, they had that long break in between. The guys get healthy, get refreshed. They could come in and, bring everything to it.
But even during the regular season, it didn't feel like they had that Stanley Cup hangover.
Yeah.
It just felt like they came back and were still the St. Louis Blues, and then 4.5 months of a break and a mini training camp, and they just haven't looked like the same St. Louis Blues. Like you guys said, it doesn't look like they were committed to going for the back-to-back.
No, for sure. They don't. It doesn't look like the effort level's there, unfortunately.
They don't look as committed as the Toronto Raptors do of winning back-to-back titles, okay?
Hell yeah.
I said it here.
Hell yeah, brother. Let's go.
I said it here first, back-to-back. For all those ESPN mumbo-jumbos who said that they won't even make the playoffs, leave us alone up in Canada.
On my podcast, my co-host John
Yeah.
is from North Carolina. but he's here obviously, and he's like,
Okay.
at the start of the year, he's like, yeah, there's no way the Raptors are making the playoffs, and I'm like, yeah, screw you, man. Now look what happened. Raptors finals, Raptors Lakers finals, Raptors win it, and then still sign Giannis. Let's go.
Hey, Adam said that if the Raptors sign Giannis Antetokounmpo, he will join the bandwagon.
What do you mean? He's not a Raptors fan already?
No.
No.
Screw you, Adam. I miss you. Come back.
He hasn't crossed that bridge yet of French Canada.
Yeah. Yo, man, I live across the street from French. I can see Gatineau from my window.
Yeah.
Like, I can see Gatineau Park, whatever it is, like, right there. Like, it's a little bit, it's like a 15-minute drive from here. So if Adam wants to hang out in French Canada, Gatineau's the way to go.
Adam, if you're hearing this, meet Mike at Gatineau.
I'll meet you in Gatineau. But yeah, I guess that's all I got to say for that bloody series. Blues are on thin ice. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go Blues, though, man. I have my Tarasenko jersey that I wore to the Cup final in my closet there. Roll Blues, but please don't lose to the Canucks, please. I hate the Canucks.
Daniel, anything else to say before we move on to the last
It's
series?
fun. It's kind of like at first everyone kind of saw it as like a David Goliath kind of thing, but Vancouver's kind of proving that they belong here. But I think the Blues are gonna make a run again. They're not gonna go down in 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a fun series. It's gonna go to at least 6.
That will be an interesting series for sure. Let's get to the last series, the most exciting series. Vegas versus Chicago. And
I love Vegas so much, man.
Vegas
I love
is up
Vegas.
3-0. They won 2-1 last night. What is going on?
They won back my heart by starting Marc-Andre Fleury.
You know what? I have some coworkers that say that too. Like, I had some coworkers that are like, yeah, we're boycotting Vegas now. But I don't know. Like, I'm not a huge, like, I don't know. Like, I like Fleury and I like Leonard, but I mean, it's not like a huge thing to me if Fleury is not playing, even though like he probably should have been. But I like Leonard exacting his revenge on the Blackhawks.
Yeah, like Leonard started game 1 and 2, and Fleury started last night. Now, I think when Leonard started game 1, it seemed like there was a conversation of like, oh man, what does this mean for Marc-Andre Fleury? Like, should we take something from the fact that Leonard's starting over Fleury? Is this the future they want to go to? I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. I think you signed Fleury for $7 million for the next 3 years. Number one, like, you're going to trade Marc-Andre Fleury? Is that really what you're going to do? Probably not.
I just feel so bad for Robin Leonard, man.
Yeah.
Because the guy
back
just
and forth.
No, but it's not even that. It's just like he can't sign extension anywhere he goes. Like, yeah, it's great that he can get a good contract, like, to go somewhere, but then he doesn't get to stay there. And I feel like, anytime you go somewhere I remember these guys are people at the end of the day, and you make relationships, you forge friendships with all these players. Like, Leonard does not look out of place with his friend. I mean, granted, it's Las Vegas, Nevada. Holy hell, I would love to play there. But like, he's got like. It sucks that at the end of the season you got to pack it all up and be like, hey, guys, they don't have money for me anymore, so I'm going to go. I'm going to move, but, like, thanks for being my close friends. Love you guys. Like, that sucks, man. And, that's what what's going to happen with this next contract. This next contract, Robin Leonard is going to get that extension he deserves because he's just been going on year-to-year contracts, but this is his time now. Like, he wants an extension. He deserves an extension. I'm a big Leonard fan. I mean, I know I didn't say I was a huge fan of these guys before, but like the more I read up on Leonard's story, the more I follow him as a goalie with how he's progressed, how he's come back from some pretty dark lows. Yeah. You just feel for the guy, and I want him to finally sign that extension. I wish it could be Vegas so much because it seems like he's carved out something really good, and they have a great team there. But unfortunately, you can't get rid of Marc-Andre like that. You sign him. He's the face of your franchise since you guys created this team. And it's just Like you can't get rid of him. Marc Andre, like Robin Leonard's not the one in the Apple commercial with Mark Stone.
Yeah,
It's Fleury.
it's Fleury. And it seems like everything is going right for Vegas. It literally just seems like they're getting points from everyone you'd expect to get points. Really,
I'm a
except the one
huge
guy.
Shea Theodore fan. If I'm getting a Vegas jersey, I'm getting a Shea Theodore jersey.
Shea Theodore with 1.3 games. I mean, and that guy, he just got an extension at the beginning of the year, did he not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Or last year?
7 years.
God.
I had a bargain.
Shea Theodore. But Max Pacioretty's the only guy with 0 points, and I believe he's now injured or unfit.
He's unfit. He's unfit.
Okay. He's injured. He's injured because they have 0 positive tests in the NHL bubble.
He's looking like, I don't know, like Vegas is a heavy favorite for tonight. I'll say. I'm looking at the betting lines.
They play tonight back to back. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it. I wouldn't be surprised if they finished the
Which
season.
sucks because I put in my pick 'em pool. I had him at I had the series 4-1, but I'll take the sweep for Vegas' sake. I just love watching them, and you know what? Kevin Weeks put it really well in his perspective. They look like a more complete, hungry, and poised team than they were in that Cup final team.
Yeah, the difference between this team and the Chicago Blackhawks is that the Las Vegas Golden Knights have depth, have 3 lines. If you want, you could even argue 4 lines.
Oh man, don't sleep on William Carrier in their 4th line, man. He's looked like a stud.
That can that will go out there. Like it says here, it says Paul Stastny's day to day. Did he not play last night?
I don't know. I didn't get to watch that game last night because I was dealing with internet troubles.
Either way, like it just keeps coming at you. You're obviously first line.
It doesn't. It looks like Paul Stastny did not play yesterday.
Okay, so I mean, right now they have Chandler Stevenson. I guess that's what they played with last night.
Love that guy as well.
As their first line. Pacioretty, Stevenson, Stone. That's your first line.
That's gross.
Marchessault, Carlson, and Smith as your second line. Nick Cousins, Nicholas Roy, and Alex Tuck as your third line. And Will Carrier, Patrick Brown. Do you know Patrick Brown?
I don't know Patrick Brown, but he's, I guess, part of their standard roster. I know about as much about Patrick Brown than I know as much as I know about Zach Whitecloud when I saw him playing out there. But
okay, so not a whole lot.
No,
and
as an ex-Ranger, I can't stand watching Nick Holden play. But
yeah. And Ryan Reeves to finish off that 4th line. So it literally, they'll just keep coming at you over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, their defense isn't awful. Braden McNabb, Nate Schmidt, Alec Martinez, who they brought in at the deadline, and Shea Theodore, who we just talked about. Nick Holden,
very solid.
And Zach Whitecloud. Yeah, I think that's the perfect word to describe him. Describe this team solid.
Like there's depth everywhere you go. They've been able to balance everything. I love Alex Tuck, by the way. Like his style.
Which World Junior team did he play for?
Oh, well, actually, he did play in the World Juniors, but it was for the United States.
He's American, man.
He's a university boy.
Yeah, he played. His brother plays for the NTDP.
Yeah,
his brother might be better than him, but
yeah, I love this game. It really does complement this lineup a lot, especially on the right side.
And then you look at Chicago.
I like their lineup. Like.
I'm sorry.
It's just a lot of inexperience there.
It's not as depth. Like you look at that 4th line. Let's start with the 4th line. Matthew Highmore, Ryan Carpenter, David Camp.
Ooh.
I mean, Matthew Highmore had a pretty nice goal against Mike Smith.
I mean, right now it has their 3rd line as DeBrincat, Strome, and Nylander. But I'm pretty
That's just a lot of inexperience.
A better Nylander.
That hurts.
I'm kidding. Alex is like, man, I'm never inviting this guy on the pod again.
No, you can come back on. Second line is Kajula, Doc, and Kane. It just feels like there's guys all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not really anything.
When did Drake
Consistent.
Kajula become a top 6 player?
I think I don't know. It's just they want
He
Kane to
didn't.
do his own thing. Like let the Brinkat do his own thing as well on his own line.
And then Brandon saw Jonathan Taze and called her winner, Dominic Kubalik, obviously.
Hell yeah, brother.
I mean, like looking at this lineup, I think it's good, but it's just a
No,
lot
I
of
can't
young
get over
guys,
their
a lot of young
defense.
guys that they need. They're misplaced on where they are.
I'm sorry. Like, I think they have a decent offense because they have the combination of older guys than Taze, Kane, and Sod, and young guys in Doc, DeBrincat, Strome, and Nylander.
But experience isn't everything, man.
No, I know. I cannot get over their defense.
Yeah.
Like I like Boquist with Keith. Like
Oli
good.
Mata and
after
Slater Cuckoo.
Yeah, after that, it's just
His
it's pretty murky.
last name is literally Cuckoo. I go Cuckoo over this team.
If only they traded for Colin DeMello instead.
And Calvin DeHaan and Connor Murphy.
Connor Murphy. I love Connor Murphy. Even though he's not that great, but
Solid right hand shot guy.
oh yeah.
I can't get over the defense. That's where it ends. And yeah, you know what? I Corey Crawford, great in net. That's about it.
He's looked really good for a guy that's had a lot of struggles throughout the
Yeah.
last few years with his body. So
For sure.
I will shout out Mr. Crow. He's keeping that team together.
Yeah. I just can't get over the defense. That's it.
No,
So we're not seeing Malcolm Subban in this series.
Oh God, no.
Okay.
No. Who? Never mind. I give up. I was gonna ask if he played for a World Junior team, but
Malcolm Subban, yeah, he did, but he was very good.
I was just gonna ask.
2013, when Ryan Egypt Hopkins was the captain.
Thank you, Daniel.
No problem. I have these tidbits all day.
Okay. Who is taking the series? I think we can all agree Vegas.
Chicago.
Chicago's making a run now.
Chicago's coming back. They're gonna pull it off.
I don't know anyone else who says that. You know what, Mike? I'm done.
Screw you, Mike.
I'm done. So since we're done the playoffs, should we get to the non-playoff tidbits?
I guess.
Okay. We're gonna save the two for the last. I can't speak English at this point. The two best for the last. Okay, even though that's not a saying, I made it a saying. The Penguins have decided to keep Mike Sullivan and have opted not to re-sign assistants Jacques Martin, Mark Recchi,
And Sergei Gonchar.
Daniel, did those last two ever play for the World Juniors? I want to see how
Well,
far.
Mark Recchi did,
I want to see how far back this history
like
goes.
in the 80s, like Mark Recchi.
I want to see how
Probably
far back
Gonchar for like
this history
I don't know, like
goes.
a unified team or like the USSR. I don't know.
Sergei Gonchar was not, in fact, a World Junior player.
Damn it!
Oh, okay.
Do you
I'm pretty
think?
sure-
What? You
No,
pretty
no,
sure?
no, no, no. He's played in the Olympics though. I guess it's decent. Is that
Yeah.
good?
It's
Is that
not.
good?
It's not as good as the World Juniors, Mike. Okay. We value.
Oh no! I lied.
Oh.
1993, baby.
There we go. I knew it. What the hell is going on? Like, do you think you're getting rid of all three assistants?
Yeah, Jim Rutherford's trying to cover his ass. That's why.
Doesn't that seem a little bit sketchy?
Trying to cut where he can.
I like the way Steve Dangle put it. It's like you need to buy new shoes, but you need to get rid of your shoes, but you just get rid of the laces or something like that. Is that what he said?
What?
I don't know. I know it was about shoes and laces. I don't know if it was getting rid or buying.
You're gonna
new
quote it. At least quote it correctly.
I'm sorry. I just remembered the quote. What's going on? Like, why?
Do not forget that this is the same team that got swept last year by the Islanders in the first round. So the reckoning is at hand. Like, that's it.
But you bring back Connor Sheary, which is already sketchy enough considering
That was
the
kind of
way-
weird.
The way Chicago brought
Like the
back
old boys
Ben
are coming
Saad.
back. Yeah,
bring the band back together.
Yeah.
And you bring in Jason Zucker and Patty Marlowe, right? What? And you still play like this? And you still play like this? No, that's not allowed. I don't think Jim Rutherford. I think the issue is Jim Rutherford cannot survive a retool.
No, he cannot. He keeps doing
I'm
these like
again,
moves here and there.
Yeah. I don't know how Mark Bergevin has survived a rebuild or a retool, but he has. But I'm convinced Jim Rutherford cannot survive this retool.
Rutherford's like, you know, in GM mode in like when you're playing NHL, and like you just keep playing, but you want to just keep changing your team because you're just antsy.
This is also the same man that signed Jack Johnson.
Speaking of, have you heard him praise Jack Johnson?
Oh my God, I can't.
The underlying numbers don't lie.
You go out and praise Jack Johnson and then crap on Justin Schultz and blame it on Justin Schultz as if he's the reason that pairing sucked.
I love Justin Schultz, man. That guy was instrumental to their 2 cups. So if they ever knock him, I will be upset. But
I don't think they're gonna re-sign him.
No, which sucks.
It doesn't make sense for the
because
team.
you lost all your money when you friggin' signed Justin Schultz. Come on,
Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson. I'm so dumb. I'm worthless. But yeah, Jack Johnson. Like when they sign it, how much is this contract again? How many millions for like
3.25?
Jesus Christ, for that guy that. Oh my God.
I mean, like same case too. Like Brandon Tanev, like for what he does, I love his game. But like 3.5 on that 4th line
for 6 years.
Yeah.
6
Except Brandon
years.
Tanev has looked a lot better than Jack Johnson, even though he's not worth that much money.
God, let's see when Jack Johnson's deal ends.
Let's see when Jim Rutherford is fired.
He has 3 more years. He has 3 more years.
Oh, dear God.
Jack Johnson has 3 more years. I must throw up in my mouth. What the hell?
Thank God you're not a Pens fan.
Listen, I have it bad enough, okay? I have it bad enough. I don't need the added pressure of being a Pens fan. But what does this team do? You still have Crosby and Malkin. You still have Letang. Like those are your guys. Plus Jake Gensel. You bring in Jason Zucker, who still has years on his contract. Like the moves you made this year were supposed to help you make a run in the playoffs. The moves you made this year were supposed to help for the future, and it feels like they didn't do that at all.
No, at the same time though, that wasn't even on they acquired good players. They just as a team they just didn't look good, man.
Yeah.
Like they didn't look like they were all there. They didn't look like a team that even wanted to be back for any kind of postseason. So they're just like eliminate me now.
Right.
Even though they lost the Habs, just pathetic. No offense at Adam. I'm sure you'll see this and be like, I hate you, Mike.
Daniel.
Yeah, like I kind of agree. Where like we've talked about it before, where they had everyone back from injuries that like the exception like Nick Bjugstad, but it's they had the guys around Crosby and Malkin that they should have performed. They had those complementary wingers that they had that chemistry all season long. When they got Jason Zucker, it just worked out for them already, and for them to kind of like fall flat on their effort like that, it just it's inexcusable.
Right. And another team who might be making some changes soon, the Nashville Predators, and David Boyle, their general manager, it seems like he made it clear that they're going to be making some changes. Now, they did get rid of, I believe, Peter Laviolette midway through the season and brought in John Hines after Hines was fired from the Devils. You bring in Matt Duchene, who did not perform. You have Ryan Johnson.
He's cursed.
Yeah, he's
cursed.
He's cursed. He's for sure cursed.
He's cursed.
You were literally riding on your defense. I mean, Ellis, Yossi, and Ekholm.
Hey, don't sleep on Dante Fabro.
Okay, and Dante Fabro. Okay, fine.
Will Jr. stud.
Oh my god.
Dante Fabro.
Now he's not.
Yes.
See, I talk about the Leafs too much. Daniel talks about the World Juniors too much. Okay, yeah, we
And
balance.
then
it,
Adam
bro.
talks about the Habs too much.
See what's
Thing is, I actually got sad when I saw like he's like some guys are not returning when Dave Pohl said it, and I actually got worried when I saw Cap Friendly because
Yeah.
Greg Smith is a UFA this year.
Craig Smith, don't say that to poor Adam. Adam will cry.
Oh,
And he's already 30. I don't think Nashville's bringing him back.
Yo, he's
No.
30? What the hell? I didn't know he's that old.
Yeah.
Man, no, you guys are getting it all wrong. The best player on that who's that guy with the really Italian name? I got it here.
Italian name.
So Italian.
Mamma
God, I
mia.
was just on Daily Face Off. It's not. Oh, man, he's on the bottom four. He's like on the fourth line, man.
Oh, Rocco Grimaldi.
Rocco Grimaldi, man. Rocco Grimaldi, X Factor that team.
Him and his $2 million cap hit.
Hell yeah.
I have a funny story about him.
There we go. So
Oh,
what
God, I
World
wanna hear this.
What
Yeah.
World Junior team did he play?
Yeah, actually, he was he played for the United States, but it's funny because he was drafted 33rd in 2011
Oh,
by
okay.
the Panthers, but Jonathan Huberdeau was 3rd overall by the Panthers that year, and like they like fought each other twice. in the World Juniors.
Nice.
That was funny.
Of course. What changes does this team actually make?
Well,
Mikael
for
Granlund's
starters,
gone.
yeah, I was going to say, Mikael Granlund, not a great experiment.
Right. Craig Smith, was that worth
You can't
it?
really do anything else. Like there's so much money tied to these guys. Like Nick Bonino, 2 more years.
I mean, Dan Hamhuis just retired, so there's a little bit of money there, I
Yeah.
guess. But like, they literally have a good top 4, and then their bottom 2 just suck. I'm like, no, they don't suck, but like, you don't see Yannick Weber and Jared Tenorti making any highlights.
No.
And honestly, like, I don't know where you go from here. Like, you have so much money tied into some forwards. Like, what the hell are you supposed to do? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the hell. I mean, Pekka, it's like when free agency comes for Pekka, that's it. He's done.
Yeah.
But Saros is officially their number 1 guy. But I don't know. I think if Poyle wants some changes to be made, I think it's got to be similar. Well, I mean, you can't really compare it to the Red Wings, but you can compare the same timeline. You got to give some time for some contracts to be shed before you can actually make some work happen.
Do you think like an option is Kyle Turris gets bought out? Like I don't know that like that's $6 million off the books, and
But what's his buyout thing like?
$2
What does
million
it look like?
$2 million for 8 years.
Whoa.
That's a pretty tough because that's pretty long.
Yeah,
Like-
and I guess you're saving $4 million for 4 years.
Yeah, right off the bat, really. But then
Yeah.
like it's just gonna be there for 4 more years after that.
Yeah, it's going to be messy. I don't think there's like let's look at the players, but how much like what type of market is out there for some of them? Ryan, what can you get? Like you're going to get pennies for Ryan Johansson. You can't trade Matt Duchene. Kyle Turris, nothing. Like there's a couple players maybe you can get something for. Arvidsson, Bonino, and maybe Philip Forsberg. Like, are you really going to trade Philip Forsberg? Right?
No,
Like
you
you're
can't
not,
trade Forsberg.
No.
you can't touch the
I'm
D.
not
The
trading
D's-
Forsberg. Yeah.
Yeah, the D, you can't touch anything on the defense. That's not the issue. But you
gotta
have
get
to
some-
change something.
But I wonder what the hell you're supposed to do because then you have some guys like, I mean, I don't know who's in their pipeline, but you have some guys that aren't looking extremely great, like Eli Tolvanen.
No, he's been kind of declining. Well, not really declining, but he just hasn't shown up after
Yeah,
all the
like,
hype of being
a lot
a
of
steal.
hype.
Yeah,
A lot of hype.
quote unquote steal in the draft.
You know who they do have? Ben Harper. Ben Harper.
Like big Ben Harper.
Big Ben Harper.
When the hell did they get big? Oh, wait, I
the
remember
Leafs
that
traded
trade.
for
Whatever his last name is. I think it's Salamaki.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mikko Salamaki. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it. Sorry. Is there a whole lot this team can do, or like you said, are they just gonna run the clock like Detroit did for those years and then hit bottom eventually?
I think they're running the clock, man.
You
They
think
might have to. Like,
okay,
no other way.
then they have to fire Dave Boyle. Like,
No.
I don't think he can.
You can't.
But I don't think you can let him do the rebuild. I just don't think that's possible.
How are you sleeping on Dave, man?
What do you mean? How am I sleeping on Dave?
Dave is one of the best GMs in NHL history.
Oh, I'm
He
not
won't do it.
questioning that. It's just I don't think ownership should let him do it. Look at the situation that they're in now. He tried how many times to get a second line center?
That is true.
3.
The funny part is that Turris was involved in the Duchesne trade, and then they bring Duchesne in.
I think they're great. Congratulations to Dave Boyle for building that monster decor. Like, you think about who they had even before, like Weber, PK, Suter. Like, I'm probably missing a couple guys. Like, they had an incredible decor, but he hasn't built the forwards since the cup.
Since
the cup
Dave
final.
Legwand.
Since the cup final year.
Since Martin Erat.
Oh my god. Okay, 2 more things and then we're done. Obviously we did an episode on Monday, live stream. We watched the draft lottery, second one. And it was, of course, rigged because the New York Rangers won and the ball looked a little heavy.
Talk about money on that one.
The ball looked a little heavy. Just saying. I don't know who put this out there, but they put the video of the Leafs ball and made and it's like, oh, when John Tavares missed the empty net, and I almost cried.
the hitting the post.
Or hitting the post, and I cried a little bit. But since Mike is our New York Rangers fan, I have to ask.
I'm okay with it, man. I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it.
Like, you saw my reaction. You guys had my reaction when you guys did that. Like,
Yes.
I was okay. Man, if it went to Edmonton, I would have gotten fired for throwing something on the TV. I would have been like, God.
I would have said something that would have taken us definitely off of YouTube. No question about it.
Like, if the Edmonton Oilers or the Pittsburgh Penguins won that first overall pick, I would have been fuming. At least, like, I mean, we'll get into it later, but the idiot team we cheer for, they don't deserve that first overall. Screw them. Screw your first round pick. Screw you guys.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm okay with that because you know what? The NHL, they're looking at those dollar signs that they're going to make off Lafreniere.
Yeah.
Lafreniere. And how good he's going to look in the red, white, and blue, the blue shirts, and playing in Madison Square Garden. Like, hell yeah, man. That's sick. I love that.
What does the team look like? Because when it first happened, Daniel and I were talking, and I made the argument, like, does someone get moved? Like, does Lafreniere start on the third line, and you still have, like, you re-signed Chris Kreider, and now that you have Alexis Lafreniere, it kind of looks like, oh.
It means Panarin doesn't have to carry his own line finally, which is the best thing.
You think Panarin? Who it'd be Panarin? I guess Zibanejad and who?
Because if you look at the year, like the last game of the playing round is Panarin, Zibanejad, Buchnevich.
Yeah.
But for the majority of this season, Panarin has been tasked on the second line with Ryan Strome.
Okay.
And
Jesper Bratt.
Capo Caco.
No, not Capo Caco.
Kreider.
No. Yes, Jesper Fast. That's it.
Yeah, Jesper Fast. No, I say Jesper Bratt. That's New Jersey.
Yeah, but it's been, for the most part, Jesper Fast, and like those have been that's the majority of what his time on ice is, who he's been with first time on ice. So when you see that, like, dude, like, no one, like, and he, like, I mean, that's why I told you guys why he's my pick. Hartemi. Like, he did that well with those line mates. Like, no knock on anybody, but, like, he was only playing with Zibanejad, Kreider, Buchnevich on the power play. Now he gets. I mean, it'll obviously take some time. Like you're gonna throw him on the second line immediately, but now you have somebody like Alexis Lafreniere. If he doesn't have a first overall kind of year like Jack Hughes, then he gets to play alongside Panarin, and it looks like a stud, man. That's sick. That's awesome for Panarin, as he has somebody to dish the puck to that can finish as well, and he doesn't have to worry about carrying a line on his own. And yes, that puts quite a bit of pressure on Lafreniere. But I think he's been dealing with that for quite a few years now. Lafreniere's been he's been the consensus first overall pick for like 3 years now, man.
Right.
Like this guy is going to be a stud, and I think it's great for the Rangers to finally have some like. You don't understand, like, yeah, I guess it's only one player, but that one player enables you to move so much more in that top two. And then, honestly, I'm predicting it. I know he had a terrible year, but I think Kaapo Kakko will come back better next year now that he realizes how tough it's been. He'll make the off-season changes he needs to make. And overall, the team will just be better. But, like, it's great for that top six to really be bolstered now with a guy like Lafreniere to play with Artemi Panarin or even anybody else, whether he's playing with Chris Kreider or something like that. They're going to complement each other. It's going to work out. I'm telling you, it's going to work out. And if it doesn't, screw me then.
So this is like one thing I asked Alex last time is, they're getting another elite winger. Are you concerned about their center depth, like keeping Ryan Strome on that second line moving forward?
I am a little worried. I mean, Ryan Strome, yes, he had a great breakout year because he got to play alongside Artemi Panarin. And yeah, I bet he's a great guy. I would grab a beer with him. He was on one of my favorite. My favorite Rangers, Panarin, but he's like my 1A has got to be Tony D. I love Tony D, and he's and like Tony D has a podcast. Watch Your Tone. Yeah. No free ads, I know, but I love that podcast. And he had Ryan Strome on, and like great guy. Definitely would have grabbed a beer with him, but like come on, he's not that great. He's second or third line center at most. But yeah, I mean like. Unless Philip Hedl starts developing seriously, Brett Houghton is an okay fourth-line center, but it's a little worrisome. But I don't think it's as much as a problem as D. D is the biggest problem on that team.
Does it make, like with Lafreniere, like I'd assume that it makes someone expendable in that top six, and the name, I guess, that stands out to me the most obviously would be Pavel Buchnevich. Like like you said, if Kaapo Kakko can come back flying and Alexis Lafreniere starts hot, like that must leave someone like him like you're gonna play him in the bottom six when you have guys who can play on the bottom six for cheaper at least.
I mean, yeah, I can see that happening. I mean, I don't know, because like Pavel Buchnevich has been such a project ever since he first came into the league. Scores in his first shot, first shift. How are you? But, like, I mean, I wouldn't want to say expendable, but, like, it's tough because you really got to if you're going to move Buchnevich, you got to make sure Kaapo Kakko is ready to step up there. Because if he's not, that's not looking good. And, I mean, the only thing you can do if you're getting rid of Buchnevich is you're getting D. Because Lindgren – decent. Brendan Smith, can't stand watching him. Mark Stahl, farewell tour. Keandre Miller will eventually insert himself in that lineup. I think, and I hope it'll be this year. But if you're considering moving Buchnevich, which I don't think that they will. If you are doing that though, then you're getting a D-man. You're shopping a D-man.
Right.
But if anything, I still think it'll take some time. I don't think Kaapo Kakko is going to come in here right off the bat and pull a Svechnikov, like what happens with the second overall pick, doesn't have a great first year and then comes out flying. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I believe in him, man. I think it's tough, right? Like he's so Finnish. Guy barely knew how to speak English when he came here. Yeah. All of a sudden he's thrown into the limelight of Madison Square Garden. People often forget now, like, yes, I get that you're drafting nowadays for the most NHL ready player, but you often forget that these guys are still kids. Like Kaapo Kakko is still a year younger than me, and he's getting thrown into the limelight of Madison Square Garden, the bright lights of New York. it's tough, man. And I think now that he has that experience, it's time for him to show up this year.
What do you think of the rumors going around about the Ottawa trade offer for the 3rd and 5th? Is there an ice cream truck outside your house?
Oh, that is mine. I apologize.
I was gonna say.
I hear something was knocking around.
My window is open.
Ice cream. Sorry.
All right, my mic is good then.
Yeah. What do you think of the trade offer that they're talking about? The 3rd and 5th overall pick for the 1st overall pick.
No. Rangers haven't picked first since '67, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you get rid of that? Like, yes, I mean, that would give you a great shot at getting, I don't know who you get at 5th. I completely forgot this draft order. But I know that you get, like, Byfield at 5th. Yeah, like Jamie Drysdale and Quentin Byfield. Like, that'd be
Jake
great.
Sanderson.
Yeah, but I'm not, no, man. Lafreniere is supposed to be the real deal. And most of the time, you have to be in a really extreme situation to want to trade that 1st overall pick. Like, it's got to be a serious different kind of circumstance that you know that you're hitting right on the dot, that you're trading for the 1st overall pick for. And I don't see like there's any scenario really. There's very few when this guy's getting hyped up like he is now. I think it'll be different next year. Like, I don't know too much about Atu Ratti, or honestly, you probably could have done the same thing with Nolan Patrick and Nico Hischier. But like, when you have a guy with this kind of hype around him that's really shown up, that's a world junior legend, then I don't think the Rangers are considering trading him at all.
Okay.
Especially because he's such an important part of it. Like their rebuild is just accelerating by the day, man.
Is it even a rebuild? It feels like it's just a retool.
Yeah, it's
they've done it
like
so quickly
where we can. Yeah,
we
forgot Vitaly Kravtsov. We didn't even mention him.
Yeah, you're right. He's gonna be a stud. I mean, it also sucks that we probably won't have Elias Anderson, but I mean, like when you have it. I would call it a rebuild because look at how much you've gotten rid of in the last few years. Ever since they posted that letter saying, "Hey guys, we're rebuilding now." You've gotten rid of your captain McDonough. You've gotten rid of JT Miller. Zuccarello was a part of that core. He's the best Norwegian player to play. Yeah. Like you've gotten rid like Rick Nash. Like you see. Like, dude, Henrik Lundqvist was crying, man. He's like, dude, all my friends are gone. Like, that's a rebuild in my eyes, not a retool.
Yeah.
There's a completely different roster.
Who are the 2 goalies next year?
I hate to say it, but I think the King's on his way out. Unceremoniously.
Trade, buyout, LTIR.
LTIR, I don't think so. Buyout, maybe, depending on the circumstance. I don't know how to calculate. I'd go on Cap Friendly and check it out to see, so I can't give you a true answer on that. But I think it is like they've made it clear. They've said it. Mm-hmm. We are going to roll with 2 goalies this year. That is going to be Shesterkin. He is the goalie of the future. And I don't know the story on Georgiev, man. Like, Georgiev has had his times where he's looked great. He's had his times where he's looked not great at all. But the thing is, you're not throwing the King in the AHL, and you're not, and it depends on how long it's going to take Georgiev to season up. But this is Shesterkin's team now. Shesterkin is the man in front of those pipes. That's it.
So the buyout for next year would be 5.5, and the year after would be 1.5, and then that's it.
So it would be a really tough soak for 1 year.
Yeah.
How much is he making now? 7?
8.5.
8.5. So
then I think a buyout is an option.
Yeah, take the savings.
I think the buyout is the option. Then if they're going to get rid of Hank, then they're paying him his money there, and he will go to a contender for a cheaper deal because he's getting that much more money from the Rangers. So I don't know, man. Now that you tell me that, I really do think the buyout's the biggest option for him.
Okay. Daniel, anything else about New York before I move on to everyone's favorite team?
Nothing really. I remember reading about that possibility that, they're going to trade down to just get a center, but I like Mike's points with it. Like, this is going to be big for the New York market to, hit on Lafreniere. So They're keeping it. I think they're keeping it.
Yeah. And if they
Okay.
mess up his development and it doesn't work out, then, well, that
Now they
sucks.
say pride.
Now I know we have to actually talk about it, but firstly, Mike, what we talked obviously the night of, but what happened? What happened?
You didn't get to hear this at all. You didn't get to hear that at all that game because they got shut out and they looked pathetic.
There we go.
They looked pathetic. They looked like garbage. You see this?
Yeah, garbage.
I'm mad at you right now.
Get out of here.
Anybody that oh my god, man. So basically to put when we lost that game, so basically I left Toronto to get back here for 8:30 for game time. I left Toronto at 3 and I didn't make any stops on the way home. I just drove home. Because I'm like, I'm not missing this game. Now I really wish I left later and missed the game because that was tough. And I remember I was so upset that I texted Alex and I'm like, hey man, can I FaceTime you? I hate this right now. I need something to talk. I need someone to talk to you about this. And Alex's reply is not like, yeah, do it. No, Alex's reply is, yes, please. And this goddamn team, man, it's just constant. It's like last year I was mad. Like last year I was angry. Like I was just like, I hated the world because of this team. But right now I'm just so disappointed. Right now I'm just like, you know what? You make me sick. You make me sick. I can't even look at you. I can't even face you. You do not deserve that first overall pick. You do not deserve any form of sympathy. You guys make such a good comeback. And then just squander it all after doing the complete opposite of what the Leafs are supposed to do. Come back from 3-0. What the hell are you? That's not you. When they did that, I was so fired up. And then for them to take that fire away and just look invincible. Tyson Barrie goes out with injury. That's a tough soak. Goodbye, Tyson. It was a failed experiment of a year. We miss Nazem Kadri. And Cody Cece's is a free agent. I would grab a beer with you sometime, man. But like, peace.
Not on the ice.
But it's just been a trying year for Leafs. It has been such a different one. And then for them to go out to, you know what, like all props are due to Columbus. Columbus played their bags off like they're doing right now with Tampa. And you know, it just shows you we did not deserve to win. If JT is like, he's gonna remember that wide open net. He's gonna remember it in his nightmares for years to come.
Yeah.
Overall,
be dreaming about that shit.
He did not show up. Marner did not really show up. I saw Austin show up, which I don't usually see all the time in the playoffs, but I'm happy that I did. I saw Mo Bamba Riley show up. I saw Freddie show up for a bit and then be Freddie again. And like, I don't know where we go from here. And you and I talked about this. Where the hell do we go from here? We just can't get over that one hump. We keep making changes. Like, when are we going to get past when are we going to make the playoffs? Man, we didn't even make the playoffs. We made the qualifiers this year.
Embarrassing.
It's just like Tampa, you knew that this is a game. This is a war of attrition here. It's it's Columbus's defense versus your offense. And if your offense can't even muster a goal in the the series deciding game, then screw you, man. Like, come on. What the hell is that? You're paying $40 million up front for your top 4 players. And you know what? Some showed up. Some tried really hard. William Nylander looked good to start the series and then just trailed off.
One player looked good the entire series. One of the 4 looked good. Austin Matthews, that's it. If you didn't think that, go to hell. You weren't watching the same game as I was.
To see Austin in the corners, to see him, like, even game 1, you see he was like Seth Jones made Austin, made Zach Hyman, made anyone in the corners. He made them his toy. And you know what? Austin responded. I saw him in the corners. I saw him using his body. I never saw that in the last few years from Austin Matthews. So I'm happy I got to see that. But the other three that are getting paid that much money, you got to show up. And I'm not even saying show up and put points on the board. Do something. I know I'm not seeing Mitch Marner make a huge hit. I know I'm never going to see William Nylander make a huge hit, but contribute. Like, don't be afraid to take a hit. Do something. Just don't. Like, it was just, it's just, there's crap hockey from the Maple Leafs that last game.
I want to bring up a couple things that were brought up during the exit Zoom meetings. A whole lot of what the players said is the same load of garbage that they've been saying for the last 3 years. We didn't play well. Columbus was better than us. We weren't trying.
We're pissed off that we lost.
I don't care. Yeah, I'm tired.
You.
I'm tired of hearing it. This entire year, I've heard the same load of garbage that's just flowed out of your mouths. Tell me what you're gonna do differently. Don't tell me you're gonna be different. Tell me what you're gonna do, or at least show me on the ice, because you haven't proved a single thing. The fact, listen, I'm glad that Mitch Marner was honest and said he wasn't motivated game one. When I heard he wasn't motivated game one, the amount of rage that filled my body was undescribable. You weren't engaged game one? You make 10.2 million, he makes
9.3.
so much money.
10.893.
$10.893 million, and you were engaged? Get out of here. Get out of here.
Laughable, yeah.
And the fact that Kyle Dubas comes out and says that the people who are criticizing him are idiots. Are you watching the same game, Kyle? Because I am for sure not watching the same game as you. He was invisible for 5 games. He was invisible half the season. I don't care what you have to say. Great, he put up the points. But when it mattered, Great. He blocked 2 shots against Boston last year when he was making $850,000. He's now making $10.983 million. If you're not showing up, don't ask for big boy money. If you can't take the criticism when you don't show up, don't ask for big boy money.
Austin Matthews had the coronavirus. He had his health info exposed, which honestly, the way he told Steve Simmons off, love that. Love the balls on that. But for him to be the guy to show up after taking, it was good that he showed up. And you know what? I know people will say, oh, Austin this, oh, Austin that. But you know what? Like I said, man, he was banging. He was crashing the boards. He was doing stuff. And I'm not saying this is old-time hockey where he's supposed to lay out a guy every 5 seconds, but he at least showed up and earned his paycheck. And everybody else, dude, how the hell are you not beating this team when Cody Ceci scores on them?
Unbelievable.
Marner invisible. Nylander, that one, don't get me wrong, yeah, it's great that he had the go-ahead, the number one goal to get the first goal to get us back in mount that come up. But honestly, you can point fingers at Mikheyev and say, let Mikheyev, where the hell was he? But you know what? Mikheyev wasn't on the score sheet, but I didn't see anybody else other than Zach Hyman, work their ass off and skate harder than Ilya Mikheyev. I get it. He wasn't putting up points, and you know what? The points will come with him. And I know I can't say that because the series is over, but you don't see a guy that gets out there, dumps that puck, and just he is sprinting for that puck. And when he gets in that corner, he's a mess to play against. I've never seen anybody that is just that challenging to play against in the corner and that is just on your ass. When you have players like that, it's not excusable to not have points, but at least you can respect the fact that they're working hard, that they have attempts there. John Tavares is known for not having the greatest foot speed, but being a great player. I didn't see anything from him.
He looked. It was upsetting. I talked about it a lot on Monday for sure. But looking at what the the comments from the players. Like, the only one who felt like they cared or actually gave something that was useful instead of giving the same old boring BS that one of the three excuses that they continue to give. And you know what? We're going to try harder. We're not going to go on social media. That's not good enough anymore. Jake Muzzin and Zach Hyman were the two people who actually gave something useful. Zach Hyman, who grew up a Leafs fan, understands what the hell every single Leafs fan is thinking right now. Because he's thinking the exact same thing.
Jake Muzzin, man, when he went down, that wasn't good. You know, you pray that he's okay, but and he worked his tail off. He wasn't he isn't the best of he isn't the best. He isn't an offense guy like he kind of was before. But now it's just, what do you do next?
Listen, if I'm Kyle Dubas, something needs to be done. I think the answer's in the room. I've been convinced the answer's in the room.
I think change of culture
based on how they've played at certain times throughout the year. But Daniel's right. Change of culture. And I think if you trade someone of significance and bring in a defenseman, because the defense is an issue. There's no questions. Yep. That's a huge issue. Trade someone of significance and bring in someone to play defense. That should be a change in culture, because I think what the issue is the players are extremely comfortable in the city. And I don't want to crap on Kyle Dubas for his GM style and being I want to be the player's friend or what that style, but it has them too comfortable at the moment because right. Sorry, go.
And I missed something when I was talking.
Yeah,
but two huge takeaways from that game as well. Why the fuck? I'm not going to swear for the sake of this, but why the hell was Andreas Janssen playing?
Thank you.
That's came in cold.
And number two, if you don't have Jason Spezza's agent on the line the very next day, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Him and Austin were the only players I saw have heart that entire game. They were down 3-0. You still see Jason Spezza's taking that puck, and he sees that everybody else is not in position or they're not. You see their body language, and Jason Spezza's taking it, and he's trying to rush. He's trying to do something.
If I'm Jason Spezza, I would have lost it. I would have absolutely
seeing him
lost it.
That famous picture that you see of Kapanen and Spezza on the bench, but Spezza's head is down. You got to feel for that guy, man.
Yeah.
And he said it. You quoted. You saw my tweet too, that retweet I made of what Spezza said about how he didn't take a day for granted of wearing this jersey.
Yeah.
You know what? That's the kind of veteran you want on this team. That's the kind of veteran you have to bring back.
I'd be very surprised if he doesn't come back. Now, there's a couple things that Dubas said. Obviously, one of them being the whole Mitch Marner thing, which again, I'm a Dubas supporter, but again, I can't.
The excuses are up.
I can't agree with the things that were said yesterday or a couple days ago. Number one, Mitch Marner looked invisible. I don't know what game you're watching. Number two, you need to make a move. I don't think you come back next year with all four guys.
No.
You can't.
You cannot. You absolutely cannot.
But if you're going to tell me then who's the most expendable?
Unfortunately, it's William Nylander. Now, I made an argument that Mitch Marner could
Islanders
be traded.
win.
Yeah. On 2-1 Islanders in the game and in the series, funny enough. I made an argument that Mitch Marner could be traded. It's extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. I don't think it's going to happen. I think if anyone's going to be traded, it's going to be William Nylander, and then maybe the 500-year-old hockey Leaf lovers on Twitter will shut up about William Nylander. But man, the one thing that really ticked me off in that press conference was what he said about Cody Ceci. Kyle,
Oh my
shut
God.
up about
Stop
Cody
pumping
Ceci.
his tires, man. I remember your tweet was great. All I see is Alex Handyman. Dude, this is not the hill you want to die on.
Like, man, leave it alone. He's done. If I see an announcement that the Toronto Maple Leafs have signed Cody Ceci to an extension, I'm gonna send a tweet. It's not gonna be a good one. I'm gonna delete the Twitter app off my phone, delete it off of my computer, and not go on Twitter for a week because I won't be able to handle myself.
Me neither, man. I'll be very, very, very upset if I see that.
I don't understand what possible statistics do you have that tell me that Cody Ceci is not as bad as he looks?
He looked awful this year. And you know what? You don't want to mess up a guy or anything like that, but come on, like, you can't.
What do you mean? Mess up a guy? What? He looked garbage.
I know, but like you can't like Dubas, you can't pump his tires, man. Like, I understand that he didn't have a great year and that you had some faith in him, but come on, like, you know what you were getting when you traded Zaitsev. You traded Zaitsev because you needed to, because he wanted out, and he had that right because he sucked as well. But he looked a lot better than Cody Ceci this year. I don't know, man. It's
I'm done.
Okay, he's done. Maybe Cody Ceci's done.
Dubas, this is not the hill you
Not
want
getting
to
re-signed.
I love this tweet. Dubas hints Cody Ceci's metrics internally reflected his value defensively, and that information will cost him in different light if when data like that becomes public.
Okay, make it
No.
public, Kyle. Make it public.
No.
Prove why why Cody Ceci is as good as you think he is, because what he's shown on the ice, not happening. One more thing before we end the episode, unless someone else has something as well. Do we need to have a conversation about Freddie?
I hate to say it, but more and more every year that conversation is coming up.
The clutchness.
And I hate to say it, but
it's his clutchness, right?
It's not there.
It's just
It's not
the
there.
mistakes are big when he makes them. Like, he's been a consistent guy, but when he makes a mistake, it's horrible.
Second year in a row, he's let in a goal like that.
Gave Liam Foudy his first goal.
I don't know, man.
I've read all these mumbo jumbo Twitter rumors that something about Matt Murray for Frederick Anderson.
And that's like, it's an incentivized
Do you want me to
trade.
throw up on the podcast? Like, what is this?
Never.
No.
Please never, ever, 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 ever,
No.
ever.
No. I think anyone who played for the Greyhounds automatically gets linked with the Leafs. It's just, I think that's just what happens. I don't agree with it, but it's unfortunately what continues to happen. Joe Thornton, who wasn't even like Kyle Dubas wasn't there, but okay. Kyle Clifford was his agent. Who am I missing? There was a couple other guys who continued to get linked to the Leafs. But we do have to have a conversation about Freddie. Something needs to be done. I don't know what that is. I don't think the answer is trade him, if I'm being honest.
But then what happens?
Well, either way, even if he came up clutch, you're going to sign Freddie to an extension? You really think that you have the money to re-sign Frederick Anderson?
There's certainly no money to sign Frederick Anderson. I don't know what's going to happen when his time comes.
Jack Campbell and Joseph Wall.
Or Ian Scott. We don't know how well he does.
Ian Scott, yeah.
I'm worried, man.
A little bit.
I'm worried.
I'm a little worried, yeah. Well,
I'm worried about the future success of this club.
If they had the 13th overall pick, they could have drafted Yaroslav Askarov. Right there.
Favorite
my
of the show.
God.
Favorite of the show, yes.
We're still going with this.
Yeah. They quickly, last thing. Again, I keep saying last thing, but that's okay. They obviously Paul McFarland's not coming back. Dave Hackstall, they've decided to keep on. And,
you're gonna bring this up, aren't you?
And Andrew, what's Andrew what? What's Babcock? It was Babcock's guy. Now his name's not coming to me. The video coach. Oh man, this is gonna piss me off. It's gonna piss me off that I can't remember his name. But either way, so that means there is an opening for
Andrew Brewer.
Andrew Brewer. Thank
That's
you,
it. You're
David.
right. Yeah,
Thank
assistant
you,
coach
David.
Andrew Brewer.
There is an opening for assistant coach on this team. I think it's time to bring him home. Bruce Boudreau.
Oh my God.
Get the man. He wants to be here. We want him here. Get the man on board. Bring Bruce home. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
Okay. Have you seen the video from? I think I retweeted it. The video from. It was an HBO 24/7 special when he was with Washington, and he walks in and is talking about how they're playing like garbage, and they could have painted the walls blue. We could have photoshopped all Leaf players, and it would have been the exact same speech. I just felt it pumped me up.
They need that type of voice in the locker room. They need him. They need Bruce.
They need Bruce. Okay.
And Bruce is from North York, so
Exactly. That's why he's perfect here. He's a Leafs fan. Everyone knows.
I mean, the reports are that he's willing to take a lesser duty to do it.
And we got the money. We got the moolah.
Oh, we can give him the bands if whatever he wants.
The big bucks. Before we end the podcast, Rob Brindamore saying that it says Rob Brindamore highly doubts Canes forward Andrei Svechnikov will be able to return in playoffs.
Oh boy.
That is a huge
tough blow.
That is a huge loss for the team. Obviously, Zdeno Chara. Not gonna explain it. Okay, Jack Edwards did it for me. Okay, he deserved it. I don't know. Whatever. I didn't say that. Okay. Do you guys have anything else to say before I end this podcast?
No, I'm good.
I was gonna say go Leafs go, but I have no more words.
No, we're not gonna say that for a while. Thank you for listening to another episode of the podcast. Make sure to check out the YouTube page if you're not listening on YouTube. Check out the Instagram page, the Facebook page. My God,
Jesus, man.
My God, I'm on just a burner this episode. Check out Mike's podcast and social media. It's gonna be down. Everything's gonna be down in the description. And make sure you check out. You come back for another episode, probably Wednesday, and Adam's gonna be back. So that's a good thing.
Might be a pizza party. You don't know.
Might be a pizza party. I don't know. Okay. See you guys.